ones that could turn us into dwarves and bunnies and stuff. Yeah.
I would not mind Peacebringer Morgak just turning out to be Armstrong from the show. That'd be fantastic.
I'm down with that.
All
I
right.
guess.
Just have a bunch of weapons and stones that are carved and chiseled into my likeness. The likelihood.
Yeah, and we have what? The Sorcerer Oust is Roy? What could
Yeah.
go?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right, so we're going to get started now. In the last episode of Drama del Esmexo, the party finally reached the rear gates of Kagrum. Upon arrival, they noticed many Drow refugees being barred entry. With some convincing and magical tomfoolery, the group, the group and the Drow were allowed entry. However, they learned the situation in Kagrum had grown most dire. The camps were now overflowing with the poor and displaced. Food supplies are running low, and the main body of the Dwarven vanguard was wiped out by Dagon's forces. The party must now prepare for the coming onslaught of undead with what little time they have left. So, moving on to the Kagrum. I'll just display this map up here again for you guys to make it easier for you. So, last where we left off, Peacebringer Morgak revealed to Sir Oust that he knows Dagon's weakness. I'm not pronouncing it because I know I'm going to screw it up. But you know what I'm talking about.
Something along the lines of phylacteries.
Yes, phylacteries. Yeah, we'll go with that.
You see, his weakness is this thing called a flamingo.
Wait, what was it again? Roll's history. Yes. A 0.
Yes, let me roll a history real quick. Mainly just because I'm curious if I can get a -1.
Please?
Historic.
Yes!
Oh my god!
So this flamingo, they call it.
Do you mean a phylactery?
Shush, I know what I'm talking about.
It means about that dance flamenco.
It could be a pink feathered bird or a guy with a big sombrero and a fancy guitar. You don't know.
Oh boy.
Fantastic.
We're off to a
fine
great start already.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So, Dagon's weakness is dance.
Or a certain bird.
I'm not sure which. Go on.
Where can you find that bird or dancer?
It's up to you what you want to reveal, Morgak.
Crickets.
God, I'm trying to remember everything that happened over the course of a while ago.
He's a real Morgak.
Do you want a hint? I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, I'll take a hint. I'd like to buy a vowel.
No vowels.
Damn.
What?
Is there a word in English that has no vowels?
My.
Yeah.
I think that's like it.
There's your hint.
That's I love it and I hate it at the same time, but so we're in private, right? We're private enough that nobody else in the party can hear us.
Well, I'm there too.
Well, yeah, you guys are at the bar, as far as I remember.
And I think everybody left at that point.
So, original Oust and his father are not there, and neither is Awin. But yeah, it's Hipsam, Sir Oust, and you. Original Morgak, I am presuming, went to bed already.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. And Perrin, I'm assuming you're at the bar, just like pretending not to listen in.
Correct.
Or talking to his informant or something.
Just playing games with my mage hand and seeing if I can rip anybody off.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes.
More monies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've got good news and I've got bad news.
The usual business then.
Usual course.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with the good news.
Alright, dealer's choice. What have you got for me?
Well, we know that what Dagon's phylactery is.
Pearson turns around. I'm listening.
His jaw drops a little. Go
Now
on.
comes the bad news.
Oh dear. Which one of us is here? Is it?
That's the thing. It's none of us. But it is. It kind of gets into a more hushed tone. It's the Morgak of this universe. It's his son. And I've heard how much of a hassle he's going through in order to get him back.
Oh. Okay, so before I say that this seems highly implausible, if you will, two questions. First one, how come his phylactery when Dagon War is probably alive more than we know him? So, unless he changed him, it seems highly unlikely. And where did you get that information, if we may know?
I was getting it while eating crumpets with a god. So it's viable information. As for how it's possible, I'm not entirely sure. Or can I roll Arcana to see how that's plausible?
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
could.
have a go at that as well.
I wanted to.
That, or maybe I'm just too dumbfounded from the concept right now.
Yeah, not terrible.
No. Especially considering your negative two.
Arcana
Yeah.
So
20.
I'm gonna say, Morgak, you know that it is possible to move a phylactery from one object to another. And I'll say, Hifsam and Sir Oust, you guys know the same information, but you've also heard rumors that you could move it to a living creature or entity. But those were just rumors. They weren't exactly fully explored. Plus, most people, when they run into a lich, they just kill them. They don't ask them for their notes on scientific plausibilities.
Idiots. Zero research. Well, yeah, that's a problem. Not that much of Morgak, but which would mean that his son is now not only enemy, but he definitely made him capable of defending himself, So we'll probably be fighting Morgak on steroids because, after all, it's his son.
Not unless we can figure out some kind of soul magic.
Yeah, but judging by
Pretty much the
Environment
only
is
thing I
kind of-
know that can do that is what power word kill.
Yeah, well, unless we have a person that is capable of doing extremely high-level spells, and we don't, as much as I know.
Well, not sure if it's the same in this world as it was in mine, but there is the Drow Queen.
Right. But can she do something like that? Is there any way we can ask her in a manner that she does not question that too much?
Honestly, I think we're on the same side here, but can't be too certain, can we?
Okay. So let's take the worst possible scenario now. Say that the army leader is somehow, and I doubt that, since I doubt the Dagon is that much of an idiot, that his son will be in the army. So that would mean two things. First one is that we kill him without Morgak knowing, which would be, well, since it will be a large battle, it would be possible. And the second one would be to
I
capture
don't
him.
think it'd be well thought to think that he'd have the orc on the battlefield. It's his phylactery. No, he's got it chained up somewhere, I bet.
That is true. After all, yeah.
So we can focus on figuring out where to find that later, I think.
That
And
would
we
be
better
true.
focus on the protection of the city.
Mm-hmm. I have a couple of ideas that I've been meditating with the other Brave Sam, and yeah, they should be able to be used in this battle if everything goes right, and people are to be trained to perform it. So yeah, I'll be ongoing with the with doing that. If there's anybody around, help me among you. Of course, there are problems like people being uncontent, as you probably saw it, due to many factors, mostly being that they're almost dead. So we should probably consider
No.
mediating that too.
We've got a few things to focus on, don't we?
Oh, they don't call me Peacebringer for nothing.
Hope your name is quite fitting now.
In a twist, he was named out of irony.
He doesn't need to know that.
So, Perrin, you've been pretty quiet. What's your character's take on all this information?
I was hoping we were keeping it out of earshot of Parent, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can have him roll for perception.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, because he did
That's true.
he did say that he was eavesdropping, but acting like he wasn't.
Or do we roll for perception and he rolls for stealth?
No, either way, we're screwed.
Yeah, you guys don't
You
know
have
he was
perception,
listening
not
in.
stealth.
You guys don't know he was listening in at all. Okay, yeah. He was stealthily listening into what he thinks was a recipe for cake.
Alright, so 3 cups of flour, right?
2 eggs?
Your son made this, right?
Yes, very proud of him.
He is talented.
Alright. So, as you guys are having this discussion at the bar, the bartender gives last call for any more drinks, because he is closing up.
1 pint, please.
Okay.
Aye, one for me as well.
Make that 3.
Okay,
3
so
for you or 3 overall?
I was gonna say
Yes.
1 for Sam, 1 for Oust, and 3 for Morgak.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Alright. And Perrin, if you want, I'll let you do another sleight of hand to see if you get any more coin for the rest of the night. Okay.
Oh.
Even with a natural
Even with a natural 1, it's a 14.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, plus 5 dex and your doubled proficiency does wonders.
I'm gonna say your drinking has gotten to you a little bit, but not horribly. We'll say you got away with another 5 gold pieces. Why
Ooh,
not?
5 gold? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm having technical issues on my end.
You have received 5 gold.
Yes.
Awesome.
Even with a nat 1, he still works out just fine. All right. So you guys start heading out of the bar after you guys have finished up drinking. You're kind of taking a look around the streets. They're fairly quiet right now. There's not a whole lot going on.
Aside from rampant murder and looting?
I will say, Perrin, I do remember you have a date with the barmaid. I remember that.
Correct, Mundo.
So we're gonna say that she's met you just out the side door, and you guys go off to her cabin to spend the evening there. As for the rest of you guys, you're walking through the streets, just trying to keep an eye on some things and see if you notice anything unusual. See how the
Oh
people
boy,
are.
I sure hope we don't get mugged.
You notice a couple things. So, in the camps, or I should say near the camps, you notice that there's a large group of refugees just kind of shouting and arguing with each other. Mixture of elves and humans, and a handful of dwarves. And you also notice, I'll say, Nazan Doval has entered into the foreman's office over here with a small retinue of drow soldiers.
This may turn into trouble.
There's a good chance.
It certainly looks like it.
Should we?
I'd say yeah.
Let's.
But there's a lot of people yelling.
So are you
I'm
heading
gonna go take
towards
care
the
of that.
refugee camp? And okay, so Morgak's going to the refugee camp, and the rest of you going to the foreman's quarters.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You got this, Morgak.
Gives a thumbs up.
All right. So I'm gonna start with Morgak first. So you start approaching. You start approaching the crowd, and it's not unusual for them to immediately notice this like near 7 foot, like ironclad covered gigantic orc with axe, kind of like just clomping towards them. So a handful of like human soldiers just kind of like tap the guys next to them, and they just point towards Morgak's position, and they all just quiet down and kind of like turn and side glance at you, and half of them are just like looking up at him and go like,
I imagine
Is
we
there a
Trump.
problem here?
Of intimidation
Boom,
check?
boom.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
yeah,
possibly.
you can do that if you want. Roll for intimidation. I'll give you advantage on this
Sure.
because these are just
Clank.
like.
Advantage, you say.
Is there a problem?
You know
Well,
what?
with a 12.
It's unintentional.
Yeah.
We're gonna say you have their attention, but they're a bit wary about you. It doesn't look like any of them are carrying weapons per se, but you see a couple people, like burlier, young human men in the back, just kind of like keeping an eye on you, but they got like their arms crossed, just waiting for you to speak and see what you have to say.
Is there an officer problem?
What's the yelling about here?
So a couple of the humans and elves pipe up in unison that they just basically want to leave. They don't feel safe here anymore, and there's just a lot of rumors going around that the undead horde is going to be here any minute now, and they just want to leave before he gets there.
So if you leave, you run into the undead horde and join the ranks. Is that what you want to do?
So
Traitors.
one of the elves pipe up. He's like an older elf. You can kind of tell from his grayish hair. He's dressed in farmer clothes, and it looks like his boots and like an entire like green tunic is like covered in dirt and grime. He just pipes up and says like, "We're gonna make it to the water. All of us have a plan. We're gonna make it to the water. We're gonna get to the boats, and we're gonna cross the entire ocean and maybe commandeer some ships, and we're gonna go back to Adnil where it's safe. Those things can't follow us there."
And when they do follow you there,
And he just kind of like says, "It's like that's impossible. They can't cross entire oceans with just like themselves. There's no way. We'll burn all the other boats that we don't take with us. That'll stop them."
and then they make more boats.
Then
It's an undead horde. They can do whatever the heck they want.
Okay.
But they can't break through that damn wall.
Roll for persuasion.
Hell yeah.
Roll for peace bringing.
No, that's attack.
Damn it.
So you hear like one little squeaky gnome voice in the back go, "Yeah!" And he just like puts down his fist. He's like, "Ah."
I like you.
I like that one.
Yeah, so all the rest of the people are just like still murmuring about it. It's like, no, we're not going to settle for that. We're going to march on this gate. We're going to push our way through those dwarven soldiers if we have to. They can't keep us here.
You'll die.
Says who?
You are literally asking to get stabbed by dwarves.
They can't stop all of us, right, guys? And they're all just like, yeah. You hear cheering in the background.
I can literally stop all of you.
And with that, you see a handful of those burly young men kind of push their way through the crowd up to you, Morgag. You still have a good 5 inches on their height, but they're staring up at you with, like, real rage and just anger and fury in their eyes. It's like, who do you think you are? You're an orc. You probably work for Dagon. You just want us all killed. And the other guys are flanking you right now.
Do a choke slam.
Are you trying to intimidate me?
I don't have to intimidate you. You're a piece of crap. You can't tell us what to do. You're an orc. What do you know? You got no brain in your head. It's all rocks shaking around in there. And he like takes his two like fingers and pokes you in the forehead as he says that.
I'm gonna cast command and tell him to sit.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Sit down, boy.
All right. Tell me what
Get
command
down,
does again.
boy.
Okay. I can't wait for it to fail.
All right. So,
Okay, I issue a verbal command. It's just a one word, but it's essentially just, something like approach, drop, flee, grovel, something like
Wisdom
that.
save.
I'm just saying sit.
Okay.
Kind of like halt.
You're just saying
Wisdom
sit.
save DC 13.
Wisdom save DC 13. Okay. And are you casting it at the regular level, or are you spending a spell slot higher?
To cast against multiple people.
Oh, it casts multiple people?
I could do it.
You could if you want to, because he's got two
I
other
could
guys
only make
flanking
2
you.
people sit down, then.
Yeah.
Oh, I could just make his lackeys sit down. And then be like, yeah, where's your power now?
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, I'll cast it at 2nd level. Spells are fun. So DC 13.
All right. So
Make
I'll
those
just.
wisdom saves.
I
even
will.
though they don't sound very wise.
They're not very smart. I'll tell you that.
No.
They both fail.
So okay.
dear.
So you look at him in the eyes, and then you look at both his lackeys. You take your fingers and point. Sit. And immediately they just go. And
They
the
bark.
the guy in the middle just goes, dude, like back me up here, man. And they don't say anything. They're just like staring straight ahead, eyes not blinking, sitting, not moving, just legs crossed. He's like, what do you think you're doing, man? You can't use magic. That's cheating.
You think that Dagon will care about cheating? You think the guards will think about cheating?
I hate you. And he just kind of pouts.
Go back and think about what you've done.
Before he does, he's
You're
just
not
like,
leaving unless you have a death wish.
and okay, so he finally just kind of like shrinks down a bit, and you see his shoulders slump, and he's like, well, what do you suggest? Like, we're trapped here.
I have a friend. He's going to get the refugees here trained up and ready for in the event that they do come. That way, you'll be more prepared.
Okay. So, you won't have to roll for that. He seems to just kind of like nod and say, you know what, fine. Maybe we will wait on this. And then he goes to the rest of the crowd and is like, all right, guys, we're going to have to just hold out here, but he's got a buddy that can teach us how to fight. So, that's good. And everyone else is just kind of like murmuring in agreement. They're just like nodding. It's like, and they start, the crowd starts to disperse back to the camps.
Peace has been brought. I walk away.
A beam of light shines down from the heavens through the
Pretty
clouds
much.
upon you.
I
As
cast
you
moonbeam on myself.
Wait, no, that would hurt.
Shush. It's for dramatic effect.
The pain means it's working.
Exactly.
Angel
Ow,
choir above.
ow, ow. All right, that's me.
All right, so we'll go back to Hifsam and I was there. So you guys enter in through the doors, and you see Nizana Duval having an argument with the lieutenant that was left in charge. And they're talking about strategy and how they're going to be able to deal with all the undead that are supposedly coming. You overhear... Actually, no, you know what? I'll have you guys roll for perception to see if you overhear a whole lot, or general...
Perception, you say?
Yes.
Perception. Mon Dieu.
I may perceive many things. It
Okay.
doubly helps that I know Dwarvish and Undercommon.
It definitely helps. And Hipsam can understand any language, so it's not a big deal.
Nah, it's
I
only
can
those
only
that
read.
he sees. It's not
Oh.
that he hears.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I
So-
know how to read.
They are speaking in common because that's the common language. So we'll say that you both do understand what's going on. She's talking about how about strategy with the dwarf. The dwarf wants to meet the horde head on with full strength of the army, and the Nizana is cautioning him that is a horrible idea because they have the numbers and we do not. They're dumb, we're smart, we should be more tactical. We should do hit and run tactics or guerrilla tactics or sabotage. But the dwarf just isn't hearing it. He's like, he wants brute force and overwhelming numbers with the strength of his army and all the weapons that they have at their disposal. They will have a better
Yeah,
chance
for
of
the
surviving.
glory of Felvin. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ugh.
And as they're having this talk, the dwarven lieutenant kind of like glances up and sees you two standing in the doorway. And he's just like, yeah, what do you want?
Came to discuss strategy, actually.
Well, as you
With
can
certain-
see, the wise and all-powerful Nizana Toval has already got us covered there, laddie. And she just kind of rolls her eyes at that comment.
If I remember correctly, we are a part of that war council. Therefore, we are allowed to enter and present our opinion.
Very much so.
So Nizana just says, your opinions are most welcome.
I'm gonna
Good
ask
try,
you
bro.
a blunt question to start. Have you fought against an army of the undead before? Have you?
Are you asking the dwarven lieutenant?
I'm asking the dwarven lieutenant.
Okay. So he just kind of puffs his chest. He's like, of course we have! We fought many undead, and we laid waste to all of them.
An army at once.
Well, of
I'm
course.
not talking a battalion of 100. I'm talking thousands.
Well, and he just kind of like stammers a bit. He's like, our walls will hold against any army.
That's what
An
Byzantine
army
said.
with a lich at its head, who can cast teleportation magic, who can bring down near mountains from the skies. Of course, that is a reference to Meteor Storm. He's
Yeah.
a wizard. He might have it in the book.
You never know. And you see he's like taken aback by that a little bit. He's like, we have magic casters of our own. They'll make short work of that stupid lich and his tiny, weak army.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we can avoid such sophisms about military warfare and get to the real thing, please.
So you want to hear his tactical idea?
No, I said if we can avoid bullshit and get to the thing.
This isn't about us doubting your capabilities. It's us measuring them.
So he just takes out a map and he shows you what they're working on. So I'll go to this, and please be kind. I am a bit of a Picasso when it comes to this stuff. So so he points to this map that he's drawn up for the outer defenses, and he's like, look, we've got spike pits here, we got trenches dug in for our men to hide behind. We've got a choke point in the center to lead them in, and we've got bows and archers as well as artillery pieces on the wall to lay waste to that entire army. We are well prepared for their onslaught.
Alright, then couple questions. How tall are the walls? What is on the sides of the road thing?
So,
And what eventualities do you have in the case that they go beneath the walls?
Or above the wall?
he says that the walls are 200 feet high and 50 feet thick with solid masonry stone, built by the finest Masonheim that they had to offer at the time. The gate itself is, it's like about 2 feet thick of solid steel.
Doesn't stop a single rust monster if you get that in there.
You never know. And he describes the map a little bit more in detail. So the sides here are just like the curves of the cave. These little spots here are just like small hills of dirt and rock that are all over the entrance, the main entrance of the rear gate, but nothing that provides a whole lot of cover for incoming attacks. And these are like the side tunnels that meet their way to the main tunnel here.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that he has a retinue of 100 dwarven crossbowmen, and he has 4 artillery pieces that are 12-pound guns.
Alright, how many pikemen, swordsmen, cavalry, if any?
So not to go into great detail, but he goes... He tells you, like, he's got pikemen, he's got mobile infantry, but right now they're having some technical difficulties they're trying to deal with at the moment, but they're sure to have those sorted out very shortly. So the pikemen, he's got the mobile infantry. He points to Nizana Deval and says that she has provided Drider cavalry in numbering about 300 to 400, as well as her longbowmen to man the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, they have dwarven rune masters and a handful of drow warlocks at their disposal for spellcasters.
Okay, so I recommend this idea. So basically, 2 options. First one would be that we do like this,
Pincer maneuver.
where we basically, that will basically make a semi-V formation, if you will, so that we are focused on defending these sides and let the enemies push through, at least a tiny bit. We have another main force here. They will be doing the they will encroach them so they can attack them from any sides and allowing them not to break the flank. So we have a wider front and it's still controlled a bit. And if this fails to protect their thing, we're gonna close the gates and then retreat and make the similar formation. So another V formation and the center allowed. And we do it with multiple layers. In front there would be archers and then behind them pikemen, so when the archers and other missiles shoot, they go back and let the swordsmen in front. So pikemen will cover the swordsmen and the swordsmen will fight what's in front of them. Artillery can shoot in the middle areas here. They have a clear area of sight and they can like do maximum damage. Casters can do area effect spells and do the support thing, also the damage.
So both Nizana Deval and the Dwarven Lieutenant are kind of like nodding along, sort of like an agreement. Is like, where do you suggest we put the casters then? On the walls, maybe?
The what?
The casters.
Okay. Magic.
The rune masters and the warlocks.
Users. Yeah, they should be mixed with the crossbowmen and the archers, and probably the the stronger spellcasters who can do a bit considerably more damage, they can be on the walls. Like, those that can use
Evocation
fireball.
wizard,
Yeah.
evocation sword, ideally. Enchantment
Also,
magic
it
will be
would be-
generally useless against the undead.
Yeah, and organization would be nice that every regiment has like paladin at least, cleric, and somebody else who can provide with healing auras and utility stuff.
And the fact of the matter is, you need some sort of radiant damage or a very good hit to put down an undead for good.
Definitely.
So, do you
There
have a
will be,
store
like-
of holy water, maybe, that you can equip some soldiers with?
So, the dwarven lieutenant kind of pipes up and puffs out his chest again in like a proud sort of moment. It's like, oh, trust me, we've been working on something very interesting. Hold on. And he just kind of like yells in the back in Dwarvish. And you see this very, very old, dirty, sort of like hooded figure come out the back. It looks like it's a dwarf. And he's coming along with like this cane, and he throws back his hood, and it's actually Zasser Quibig.
Yep.
Oh, nice to see you again.
It's like, oh, I'm so happy to see you're still alive and not one of those undead creatures. I tell you, whew, it's been a long time since I've been in one of these places before. But I've been talking to this young man here, and I put together some lovely accoutrement, as they like to say in Elvish. And knowing for a fact that's not Elvish at all, but you just kind of let it slide. He takes out this this stone, and it looks like there's a couple of dwarven runes written on it. And he takes it out and he places it on the table. And as he does so, it kind of like glows a little bit, and it's kind of like pulsating this like orangey red glow outside where the runes are etched into it. He's like, I would like to show you the stone mine. And he just kind of like splays his hands out in display in front of you. And he's like, if someone were to step on this, it is equivalent to what I would say 50 pounds of explosives. It will completely decimate an entire platoon of soldiers. Just this one thing. But it is very delicate. My plan is to bury several of these rune mines in the dirt. So as the army approaches, they will be wiped completely from the face of this realm. And he just kind of claps his hands in excitement. I'm so excited.
By any chance, did Gibby make this?
He's like, what's a Gibby?
You didn't meet the guy. Oh well, it's bad.
Who?
We met.
The goblin explosive expert.
Yeah, no, Sir Rouse doesn't know either.
Yeah.
We met a goblin that is certainly proficient with explosives. I was just asking if he met him. Well, I mean, that would be quite useful. However, if they are just
There's
approaching,
enough pyromaniacs.
it wouldn't do. It wouldn't do much of a damage. Is there any way we can delay the explosion until like we want to?
Oh, that's where the rune masters come into play. All they have to do is utter specific trigger words that will set off the explosion in a chain event. As long as they're within radius of the runes, they will go off. It will be glorious.
And how many of these are we able to produce in time for the actual invasion?
And the dwarven
siege, I
lieutenant kind of nudges Zasser a bit in the arm. He's like, "Tell him how much we got, laddie." He's like, "Well, let's carry the 4. We have 10."
Oh well, okay.
10.
And he just kind of like smiles weakly. They're a little difficult to make. We've had some setbacks.
Don't worry, every bit is helpful.
It's like, Luckily,
Alright.
we do have the ability to grow back arms magically, so those poor souls will be perfectly fine after a few days when they grow into their new arms. But aside from that, so far it's going quite well. These trial versions are pretty good. Yes.
Ever consider putting shrapnel around them?
Oh, that's clever. We'll put them in like a metallic container. Yes, he starts taking out like a little notebook and scribbling it
But
down.
how much of a damage would shrapnel do to the undead?
Well,
Anything else helps.
yeah, I suppose.
Well, as long as it does not inhibit too much of the explosion, sure.
Really shouldn't, really.
Hmm.
Well, okay. Any recommendations where we should put it? Probably in front of the
Gate?
platoons.
Hmm,
Oh yeah, and the gates. I was thinking about collapsing the hallway, but I don't think it would be that easy.
not quite so advisable now. Do you have any inclusion of the drow in this plan of yours, though?
Yeah. So I was thinking about. Well, I would need Perrin's help with this if he's willing to, because since drows are a bit more skilled in the subtlety and quick killing, if you will, more like an assassination. I would need them for a special unit, if you will. I have an idea.
Do
Also-
share.
One more thing. It would be yeah, I would need them trained, but and he was sent mentally to the others. I would need them trained to assassinate the commander of the battle from the enemy side, providing, of course, that the tactics can be done, because this is what I imagined. And he takes the map and draws. There is a group of soldiers that are trained, like multiple of them, probably heavy weaponry, like two-handed weapons, and they would be the mobile force, usually battling if there are any breaches or anything, they're there to fix it. However, let's say that the enemy has arrived, and here's the commander. He would probably be in the middle of the forces. Then what's the idea? We make the formation, the ambulon. On the outsides, there are regular soldiers. They're used to breach the wall, let's call it, where the enemy soldiers are. Inside, there are assassins. Assassins, when the formation breaks, go through this way and go straight for the commander. If we can get rid of the commanding force, if in best case it would be a necromancer, then they have nobody to control the undead. Certain parts of them would either go berserk, which would probably fit us because, and the rest of them, maybe even they will stop moving. They are basically dead. In the worst case scenario, they lost their commander. They don't know how to lead the battle. That will give us advantage. Of course, there would need to be considered many factors, but this is the basic idea.
Okay. So, it looks like Nazana Deval and Zasser and the Dwarven Lieutenant are all in agreement that is a solid plan. They say that maybe, if possible, you could gather your other companions and start formulating a plan to implement this. Get together as many able-bodied individuals as you can from the camps, train them up, and hopefully have a good fighting force to assist in the upcoming battle. And with that, they just kind of go their separate ways and disperse to do their own thing.
That's the plan as of now. Any objections, ideas, recommendations?
So you don't hear anything, any objections from Nazana, the lieutenant, or Zasser. They seem to be all in agreement.
Okay. You folks? He points to Oust and... Oh yeah, Oust is on there.
Just oust, yeah.
Yeah, hi. Maybe we should just talk over with the clerics what sort of spells they should prepare for the day.
Mm-hmm.
determine how many we want on healing and how many we want on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more on the healing side, to be honest.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of, how many clerics do we have?
So the dwarven lieutenant pipes up and is like, we've got a couple of healers, but if you could find some more in the refugee camp, maybe some volunteers, it would be most helpful. Most of our rune mages are indisposed with preparing traps.
And amongst the drow, any potion makers, healers?
So Nozana says she has a small group of assassins that could be used to be implemented. As for healers, not a whole lot have been left alive. They only have really warlocks, and they deal with the, less nicer side of things like poisons. So they're not really so much good at healing, they're just good at killing.
What sort of pacts do they have, though?
She says they have herbal kits and they have poison kits.
No. Pacts.
Pacts?
The warlocks.
Oh,
Kind of pacts.
oh, okay. Well, she says some worship Loth. Others worship some other obscure gods, but majority of them worship Loth.
Huh, so that was
Celestial
canon.
warlocks, then? I do believe they have a little bit of potential in regards to healing.
She would have to check, but she might have like a handful. She's not entirely sure. She hasn't really done a head count since they've been allowed into the gates.
It's quite
Well,
alright.
at least we can train some civilians with the first aid. Just minor injuries and such.
Yeah, there's that. You could probably have some like retinue of like doctors and nurses at least.
Let's see what we can do. Let's scout out the civilians for any potential.
Yeah. We'll probably need a couple of scribes to do the organization about all of that.
Some kind of draft.
And we don't have much time, so we better get going.
Indeed.
That's fair. All right, so you guys head out of the foreman's quarters, and you head towards, I'm assuming, the camp to gather up healers and start training them for battle.
I
Probably,
suppose, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to go to Perrin now. So, Perrin, you spent a few hours with the lovely barmaid lady. It was a very fun time, we'll say. And she gives you like a good little peck on the cheek and says to come back anytime when this is over. She's looking forward to seeing you again. Is there any particular place you would like to head right now?
I guess I should go round up the rest of my party and see how productive their evening was.
Okay. So we'll say that you see Sir Oust and Hifsam exit out of the foreman's quarters, and they start making their way towards the refugee camp.
Then I will use these shadows and slide in behind them and just kind of get in step with them like I was always there.
Okay.
When do we notice him?
Well, roll for stealth versus perception, and we'll see. Good luck, guys.
If I get a
I fail
20...
instantly. Do I succeed on natural 20?
So close.
Vincent turns around.
of
sees
the
her.
most oblivious sort.
So, Perrin easily
Christ.
sneaks in step with sneaks up beside
Although if
Hifsam.
he does get within 60 feet, he's just known.
Yeah. I
Of
suppose.
course, I don't think Oust would say anything anyway.
Okay. So yeah, Perrin Perrin easily scares the shit out of you, Hifsam. 1 second you're walking beside Sir Oust and you turn to the right and Perrin is there.
Roll to
Oh
not
God, he's
squeak.
gonna Omailamo you.
Teleports behind you.
Yeah, it's just like
Not
pops in.
personal here.
pops in existence.
Oh my god, he was the traitor sabotaging the war machines. What a twist.
Oh my God.
They're eating
Alright.
people, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god! All
So
right.
yeah, I think this dialogue will continue when he returns.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what are the other outstands?
So
Or Morgak?
yeah, we'll
doing?
go to them for a second. So I know that Oust and
the
his
temple.
father went to Felvin Temple. So let's head there today. Transition. So you and your dad enter into the temple, and it's as it was before. You don't see a huge change, with the exception of the orb that is on top of the pedestal here. It is now glowing a very bright, near blinding orangey red. Where it was dim and dull before and cool to the touch, it is now fiery and hot and emanating a lot of heat from it. Even like 20 feet away, you can feel the heat of this thing.
Feels like home.
There you go.
Small.
So, Bran tells you that since Felvin has been released from his prison, it feels like the powers have like nearly quadrupled amongst you and him. You can't quite explain it, but it feels like the cage that Felvin was in was dampening his abilities significantly, which is what kept him in line, along with that collar that he had to wear. But since he's free now, it looks like that power has come back full force and is emanating from everywhere. So what do you like to do in this temple? It looks like it's just the two of you right now. You don't notice the priest anywhere.
Well, no time to get better at what we can do than now, I guess. May as well try and get used to the change that we're dealing with.
Yeah, so we'll say that you guys start doing some meditation exercises. You haven't spent a lot of time with your father in regards to that, so he's putting forth his best effort to try and teach you some of his techniques that he learned when he was trained at the temple. He clearly has had a lot more experience dealing with the control of his powers as well as being able to do different things with them. So he's going to spend the time in this temple with you to kind of like hone your powers as best as you can for the upcoming fight that you guys are going to have.
Are there any shenanigans going on with that amulet of Felvin Oust has?
So right now, if you take it out, I'll have you roll for Arcana.
Oh, okay. Arcana. Oop.
Okay.
No,
So-
dang.
So you look this thing over, and your father immediately notices the amulet that you have, and he asks you where you got that from.
Oh, there was a tiefling priest here that handed it to me. Blind fellow?
He kind of like, his eyes widen a bit. He's like, is he here now? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
He's kind of like looking around a bit nervously, and he says, "It's like, that amulet is not something a novice should have." And he's kind of nervous about the fact it's like, but because the priest gave it to you, it's obvious that you could handle that sort of thing eventually. But he tells you that that is something of great destruction that you have around your neck, and you need to be very careful on how you handle it.
Huh.
So with that, he just kind of like shakes his head a bit, and he's like, you know what? Let's not worry about that right now. Let's get to work. and
Changing
get you...
description of amulet to include great destruction. There we go. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And meditation goes on.
And meditation goes on. So yeah, we'll let you guys do that, and we'll go back to the rest of the group here. So yeah, Perrin pops out of
Prime
nowhere.
sleeping.
Yeah. Perrin pops out of nowhere beside Hipsam as you guys are walking along. Do you say
Oh,
anything?
Baron.
I'm still holding his heart.
How you all doing? I had a great night. What about you guys?
Still got a bit of a... Well, yeah. I think we did all right. Just talked a bit about tactics to Zana and the Dwarven Lieutenant.
Oh, tactics.
All right, Aaron. Yeah, I need your help. Are you willing to follow me with this idea? I'll explain it to you.
May as well do it mentally. Keep things quiet.
Oh, right. So I tell him, so basically you receive this. We're planning on training the assassination squad for disposing the enemy commander if he appears on the battlefield, so I would need his help in training and preparing the attack when it comes to that.
Well, you've come to the right person for that, my friend.
Beautiful. Yeah, I will be training the forces in the meantime. I hopefully soon. So if you are willing to, you can join me and we can devise a plan and everything.
Sounds good to me.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're heading out to the refugee camp to gather people and do the draft, if you will. So, want to join us?
Sure, sounds good.
All right.
And probably run into Peacebringer by now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, you see Morgak.
No, Morgak can make a stealth roll.
Got it.
He's got that covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's an actual one again.
He's literally standing
Nope.
in plain sight, but standing very, very still.
There he is.
And
Damn
you,
it, I wanted...
Me too.
Just standing, staring at the ceiling.
no,
There are no birds here.
so he's standing perfectly still, and you notice that he's very, very, very slowly reaching into his pack and taking out a ration and slowly bringing it up to his mouth. But his eyes are completely locked on you guys as he does so.
I think he's turning invisible.
Maybe?
You know, there's a myth that if you don't move, see that?
You just hear a loud crunching noise.
Waves his hand in front of his face. I mean, not really. I didn't see that, but I get what you're saying.
It's really magnificent. Oh, Morgak, how you doing?
Snaps
I
a
didn't
finger in
realize you
front of
could
his
see me.
face.
I thought that if I stood really, really still,
You were
I
still
would turn
twitching.
invisible.
I mean, you biting on food kind of was enough to make you not invisible. You were close, though.
I was hungry. Anyway, peace has been restored amongst the refugees. They're looking forward to your training, Rustam.
Oh, sure. We've been devising tactics. If you want to join us, you're welcome.
I have nothing better to do.
Okay. Though, are you sure that peace is completely restored? After all, you know, there may be more factions and such.
Peace has been restored from what I had seen.
Reasonable. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is we need to see who's who. Which
You.
means who's gonna be healer, who's gonna be levies, who's gonna be useful, and who's not gonna be. So we gotta sort through this refugee camp. Hopefully some people that are scribes will join us soon. Any ideas how to do this efficiently? I've never been doing this. Lothar might know, he was in the army.
Think you can contact him?
Maybe I can try. I wanted to try.
You can give it a shot, yeah.
Can I give him a hand?
Inspiration, yeah. So like add a D4 to it.
You have that.
Add a D4? Yeah?
Okay,
Flat 15.
15. So Lothar comes in. He kind of shimmers in a little slower than he normally does. And he's kind of like holding his hand up to his ear. It's like, yeah? Yeah, hello?
Hello.
So you're
Lothar,
coming in, you're breaking up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, Lothar, I need your help here. We need to recruit an army, and from what I heard from you, you are quite skilled in that.
What?
Can you lend us a hand?
You need Armenians? What?
Well,
What a thing for you to join in on, Lydia.
Yeah.
I want Armenians, but right now, no. Hello.
Hello.
Lydia.
Hi.
Hello.
Lydia Armenian.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lothar just is like, oh, no, not I mean, okay, army. Yeah, okay.
So, can you come over and do the thing you know best?
So this the sword training, yeah.
Well, no. At first recruiting, then we'll do the training thing that we talk about.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So we will try. Yes. Hold on a minute. And he just kind of
Okay.
like looks off to the side and is like talking off the side. You can't really see who he's talking to, but he's just kind of like smiling, nodding. He's like, yeah, okay. So I will try and make my way over there. Please brace yourself. This may be uncomfortable. So
Okay.
he starts like doing like these like little squats and bends and extending his hands out in both directions and squatting and bending a little bit, and he's like closes his eyes and breathes in deep, breathes out as he goes back up, and he takes his hands, puts them together, and he dives straight for your chest, and he immediately goes through your chest onto the ground behind you. It's like, scheiße, I forgot to do my stretches. Hold on. And he starts like grabbing his like leg and bending it a little. And then after a few more stretches, he tries again and he enters inside your body, and now Lothar has taken over, more or less. It feels
Yeah, holy Kaiser, goodness, Saken. Feels good to be alive. Oh, hello. My
Feels good to be
friend.
alive. My arms are so noodly. Ugh.
You train, you Dummkopf. Oh well, you gotta do it, gotta. Hello, mein Freund Sternritter. Oh, and hello, Morgak.
I'm not your friend now. Wait, what?
You're mein Freund, of course. But you're like super friend.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm so confused right now. Is Morgak out there, or is it only Peacebringer?
It's
Just
Peacebringer.
Peacebringer.
Morgak is currently asleep.
Okay.
Mhm.
That question still stands then. Am I no longer your friend?
You're
I feel
Uberfreund.
betrayed.
Mein Uberfreund. I suppose that is not to be mentioned. Ha! This is a stupid joke. Don't forgive me. Alright, so, the camp. Seems there are a lot of people. Alright, so I'm gonna search for a higher position.
Project your voice a little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
I can
Do I
summon my
find-
elk and you can stand on him.
Oh, that can do. Actually, I want to
Take
summon my horse.
What do you mean, project? I mean, I don't know anything about that.
No, it's not like you're a theater person.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's not like I do theater for a living.
Unfortunately, your character is blackout drunk right now.
That's fine. That means I can pass out, right?
I'll
If
tap.
you pass out, then I get to pass out.
Damn it.
If you two pass out, then I won't pass out.
Yeah. What he
And
said.
if he passes out, then I won't pass out.
Okay. Everyone
And
gets
then
to
we've
pass
got
out
Cody
now.
stuck in a state of being passed out and not passed out, and he ascends, and we don't want that.
That is true.
No. You
Just
don't want
so you
an
No,
know,
you're
orc.
not allowed to pass out, Lydia. Sorry.
You don't want an orc on the throne of Geth. Trust me, that would be disastrous.
And
That's what I should have done on the throne of Geth. I should have T-posed at him.
all right.
Raise this.
And yet again appears from across dimensions.
The mighty Yabuchilo.
Mm-hmm.
And he mounts him and goes straight to the high peak, pulls out his sword, and yells a battle cry, and then yells,
What?
"Soldiers!"
So what I'll say is like you summon your steed, you get up to like a high point on a hill overseeing the camp, and you go to pull out your sword, and it's not there.
I have a sword, as Grimsam too.
Oh,
You know.
Hivsam does
Yeah.
have a sword? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we went through a whole thing to pick one up.
Oh,
And
right,
I think
right.
Oust made a roll to say, "You have any idea what a Zweihander is?" There's no Zweihander here. Oh.
Oh,
But
well.
Smith, you
It's a
forced one.
decent. It's a decently made sword. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the attention of some of the crowd, but not all of them. They're all just kind of like sitting on their butts, eating what rations they have, just kind of like talking with each other.
Warriors, travelers, and refugees, you have been called to defend your homelands, your wives, your children, and your lives. Therefore, I require all of you to reply to the nearest office of recruitment so you can defend your homes and destroy the enemy so you can return to your homes back.
Roll for
Is there any
persuasion.
spell?
Or well, actually, yeah, I'll let you cast a spell in case like there's a way to
I don't think I have any.
augment that. If
Hold on a
not,
second.
just get your roll for persuasion.
Wait, is this? Oh no, this is the other person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
you
this
should
is
be
again.
charismatic.
Where's the second character sheet? Sorry. Snoopy-doopy-doo. No, I don't have any.
Okay. So just roll for
So,
persuasion on your second character sheet, the paladin one. Okay. So you get like a significant number of like younger human males and elvish populace interested in your speech, and three particular rambunctious young males make their way to the front of the crowd, and they're just like hooping and hollering. There's like hoo.
I see you are eager to assist us. My friends, today if we stand resolute, we will win against the enemy, the finder. So I ask you only to follow whatever we speak to you, as we are here to defend you and your homelands. Onward to victory. And he leads them to the office, and he dismounts and knocks to the door, where the foreman's office.
Okay. So we'll say you get a decent amount of people to follow you. We'll say maybe about like 50 gnomes and humans and elvish individuals are following along your speech. A lot of the women and children obviously aren't really partaking in that. Some of the women do take up arms, but it's not a whole lot of them. So you make your way to the foreman's office. You knock at the door. The lieutenant shows up at the door, and he sees like the crowd behind you, just kind of like leans off to the side. He's like, "So that's what you brought me, ah?"
Guten Tag, Obersturmbannführer. I want these to be drafted in a minute, even faster. I'm watching you.
So he kind of looks
Please
up
say.
at you quizzically. He's like, "First off, laddie, what happened to your accent? Secondly,
command.
secondly, where the hell did that horse even come from?"
It's a paladin thing.
You are not here to ask questions, soldier. You are to do them. You are to follow the orders.
You got some bush on your balls there, boyo. But all right.
A large bush.
So he's just like, signals for a couple guards, and he tells them to take the volunteers to the armory to get them suited up and get some weapons in their hands and get ready for training. And then he just kind of looks back at you and is like, "Is there anything else, oh commandant?"
Sarcastically.
I want to send this scribe to the rest of the refugee camp and find some people who are willing to do the nurturing of the injured soldiers.
So what you're saying is you need medics.
Well, people to be trained to be basic medics.
Oh, it just so happens I found a young man over here that is a volunteer medic. What did you say your
Wunderbar.
name was again, laddie? And he comes up, Cedric, sir.
Oh, hello, my
Hey,
friend.
I know
see-
you. You're the guy that saved me from the church and from the zombies and from a whole lot of other nasty things.
Well, actually, I threatened you for insulting the Fräulein, but I will forgive you now. It is a terrorist deed.
Not wrong.
But yeah, danke for your assistance. You're a good lad, just a bit on the wrong path, yeah?
I mean, I am a priest, so I don't really consider that the wrong path. He kind of looks down at his feet.
Wunderbar, gut. Auf with ya.
And he just kind of like hurries past you. And he says he'll try his best to find some people in the camps to help put together sort of like a
Gives a thumbs
triage.
up and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and he go back to the main group. Alright, gentlemen, I suppose we can start with the job. Herr, what was your name? He points to Perrin.
Excuse me?
Your name, Herr. Mister, if you will.
Perrin.
Ah,
Oh wait,
Herr
has
Perrin.
Perrin been informed of the whole thing?
Oh
with
no, he has
Frisk?
no
He's
clue.
fucking lost. Oh no! I
So
thought he was a warlock. What's happening?
yeah,
He offers his hand. Ritter Dietrich Lothar von der Kaiser. You can call me Hevsen.
It's a mouthful, butter buddy.
Yeah. For you people who don't speak good and Heimish. Anyway, you are willing to assist me, yeah?
Yes, I will show you the ropes.
Wunderbar. Alright, can you go and see if you can find some drow assassins or, well, skilled people for the job? I will start with the training of the infantry.
Yeah.
Wunderbar. See, he's learning the language.
Octong.
in case you're a little confused, Perrin, he's possessed by the alternate version of himself, who is a paladin from Gutenheim, which is a very, very obscure and isolated area in Arethel that talks very strange language.
Yeah.
Would you say it was Gutenheimese?
Bushman goes to Scotland.
Gutenheimish.
Gutenheimish.
Gutenheimish. Very well.
Nine Sprechen.
All right. So as you guys are going off to find some drow recruits, I will now go back to Awen and her pounding headache that she's woken up to. You did not drink any
Oh,
water
what?
last night. You should have.
Whatever. I don't need it.
Now, the question is, did she drink enough that she doesn't remember her failure of flirtation?
I mean, that's up to her. I
Or
guess.
seduction, rather.
Play the latter, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say
What
that
kind
you
of-
remember bits and pieces. All you remember is that slutty Janine stole your man out from under you, and you were upset about that.
Well, at least she doesn't remember the bit about her doing that with Oust.
Yeah, she's blocked that from her memory.
Good deal. Sir Oust, mind you, not the sorcerer.
It's the horse
Why
one, then you
not?
know that she had too much.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Definitely did. So what is Awen going to be up to? Is she going to get herself a nice hearty breakfast or punch Janine in the face? What do you want to do?
That involves me thinking. Sorry. It was,
Get up, try and find people.
yeah, probably that one.
Okay.
While also getting water because dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
So we'll say that when you stagger your way down the stairs into the restaurant, wafting smell of waffles and sausages and warm cider fill the air as you just randomly grab somebody's mug out of their hand and down it in one gulp and throw it over your shoulder as you walk out the door with the guy saying in the distance, "Hey, that was my," and then you slam the door before he even gets to finish.
Hungover Arwen is not happy Arwen.
But then again, a happy Owen is a rare.
And you know,
Occurrence.
she's doubly thirsty right now, so...
Mm-hmm.
In both meanings of the word.
Yeah. Double entendre for everyone.
Yep.
Any chance, did Hrivsam see her?
No, she's probably... Well, I guess we gotta do a stealth thing again.
Owen, roll for perception for me, would you?
Can you hear the accent of Lothar? And are you just going to nope the moment you hear it?
A moment.
I think she said in a moment.
Yeah.
I said in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is dealing with headache from running around in a very hot and humid climate.
Yeah, no.
That's fair.
It didn't help.
It's not a very forgiving year in regard to temperature.
Part is I have like now a really bad like.
It was raining earlier today, so it just made it.
Oh god, it's
Oh.
humid and hot. Ugh.
That's gross.
That's terrible.
Welcome to New Jersey.
Welcome to Texas. What?
Except we're in a swamp.
Oh yeah,
Welcome
no,
to
you
my
got us
hometown.
there.
Ah, face.
Yes, face.
My phone just tried to attack me.
Oh, yeah. I hate it when that happens, too. I'd be typing on something, and then it immediately just, like, slips out of my hands onto my head. I'm like, ow! They don't look heavy, but they are.
Well, it's like having a flat brick hit you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But today, it was fun doing rehearsals. I was subbing for the Princess Isabella.
Nice. Alright, so I'll get you guys to roll stealth and see if you avoid the stare of Awen. Even with a nat 1, it's a 14.
Oh dear.
Wait, what are we doing?
Roll for stealth.
Why are we stealthing?
Because you're trying to avoid Awen. Because you know how pissed off she's probably right now.
Alright, wrong stealth roll.
I don't care.
I don't think Seraphis cares either.
I think
Honestly.
Hrivsam actually wants to do the dumb thing.
Oh no, it's Lothar. Of course he wants to.
Both Morgak are just marching through the stair.
Yeah, there is that. I would say with the majority you have been kind of able to hide. Awen was able to pinpoint that maybe there's this weird guy on a horse that kind of looks like Hivsam. She's not entirely sure. She's still a bit groggy from last night.
Did Hrivsam see her?
You're in the middle of like another one of your rousing speeches, and you see like this leather-clad elf woman stagger her way outside the bar off to the side, and you kind of haphazardly slip off your horse to try and hide behind it, but your foot gets stuck in the stirrup, and you're kind of like hanging off to the opposite side. So when she kind of glances over, she just sees a horse, really, but you're kind of like hanging off the side of the horse behind it.
This horse?
Arwen, we're over here.
Fräulein.
Fuck you all.
He tries
What's going
to.
on? She'll
tries to
say that
dismount.
and then she sits down.
Not much
Hrivsam
else other
gets up his
than...
mount, goes straight up to her, on his knee. Guten Tag, mein beautiful Fräulein. How is your morning? And he reaches for his.
Tumbles
for her arm.
backwards in horror.
I'm like, she backs up. Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Mein Fräulein, you hurt my beautiful heart by saying and doing so. Why did I deserve such treatment.
She's not quite as open to such things as ours was, Lothar.
But Harrison told me about the paladins, and he points
What
around.
do you mean?
I have to say, what you said, Oust, insinuates group activity.
She just kind of raises a very confused brow. Like, I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. You're the ghost that possessed. Okay, yeah, no. I'm either drunk or dreaming still.
No, I'm fairly certain you're hungover but sober.
Fuck me royally with a chainsaw.
What's a chainsaw?
Mein Fräulein, if I ever did anything to insult you, please forgive me.
strap
I will
that
do whatever I can.
I get the feeling that she is a bit, well, not quite so fond of your extravagancies, Lothar.
He turns an eye on him. Sternritter.
I know. Can't win them all, friend.
I mean, you got another perfectly good half-elf right over there, pointing to Sorcerer Oust.
No, he's out in the temple. He's not here right now.
Yeah.
In some vicinity that he's in. Not me. I'm good. Mostly.
Fräulein, I cannot have any replacement other than you. However, I will let you rest as I see you are tired.
I'm not tired. I'm fine. I'm just sober and pissed off.
Is
He
being
bows and goes back on his horse.
Sorry, Perrin, what were you gonna say?
is being sober a reason to be pissed off?
I think it's hungover is the bit right now.
The answer is yes to both, actually.
I don't know.
Inclusive or
Gotta get it all in the circle.
I mean,
Sir
that makes
Oust
sense.
just sighs and kneads the side of side of his head, trying to pass that headache on to the rest of us or something.
Maybe. After all, shared pain makes the party grow fonder.
I mean, I suppose that could be a proverb. Some obscure book.
All right, if we all stand within 10 feet of each other, I will cast Moonbeam.
the what?
Moonbeam.
Oh,
I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
test this theory real quick.
I think we're quite all right. Thank you, though.
I was about to play a Michael Jackson song, and then everyone starts dancing backwards on their feet.
I don't want to make him do a performance check, please. No.
and of course the moon dance. Actually, he can.
On the flip side, though, have Yabuchilu do a performance check, please. Just his charisma stat.
Definitely. Do I don't have a horse character?
I don't
No.
think you do. Let's just roll for. Let's just assume it's associated with your character, and you roll performance with your character sheet.
All of our... It hasn't changed. The
So-
horse is still magic.
So
Perfect.
Yochila,
Moon dance.
beyond any recognition whatsoever, manifests a fedora on its hat and starts shifting backwards. And you hear a faint dun 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 dun.
Shimona.
Yeah, no, he still hasn't changed. That's the same horse.
Is one of his paws like the white glove?
Oh my
Yes.
god, he really is possessed by that fucking ghost.
Yep.
I'm quite fond of that fucking ghost, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
gonna
that
moonwalk
ghost
back to
just
the camp.
really tried to propose to me, so I'm not exactly keen on that.
No, trust me, if it was a proposal, it would be much bigger.
Ah, no, thank you.
That's just how he greets someone that he is, well, not that kind of fond of. You know what I mean.
Raises an eyebrow. Mm-hmm. Right. I'll believe that as soon as I get rid of the headache. The physical
Alright.
one.
So, moving on to more pressing matters. I'm going to get you guys to roll for specific skills. These are just going to be your stats that you have on your sheet. So, strength, dex, and all that. You guys can decide who rolls for what, and this is going to be a group sort of activity. So if a majority of you fail, you failed completely. If a majority of you pass, you pass completely. So first we're going to start
completely.
we're going to start with strength. So the person who has the highest strength amongst the group can roll just a flat strength check, and I can take that.
Peacekeeper,
10
show
and-
us your might.
10 and under is going to be a fail. 11 and above will be a pass. We'll keep it simple.
Actually, how much strength does Lothar have?
I have +3.
Morgak?
I have a strength of 20.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. You win.
Anyone want to aid to give me advantage?
Give him a
Shits.
guidance.
There is no character with guidance spell.
Oh shit, you're right.
Oh, okay. So flat strength roll for Morgak, and
I
we'll
will give him
that.
advantage because we're still.
Hey, that's
well.
2 people above 20.
Okay.
Or above 10. What am I
Above
saying?
10, yeah.
Numbers.
Oh.
We only needed like 2 people to go. I didn't think we were going with the full party.
Oh, you can. We're going the whole party for each stat, so we're starting with strength first.
Since he does the Hexblade Warlock thing, can I have Sir Oust to do Charisma?
You can't use charisma. It's going to be just a flat strength save. That's it.
Blast.
Wait, a strength save or a strength check?
Strength check. So like whatever, like
your
your
save.
base
Damn,
stat
if
is,
it was
you
a
click
saving
that.
throw, it would have been dramatically different because of paladins. We have 3 of them here.
Do we have normal Morgak out here as well?
Can have him roll, right?
I mean, you guys don't have him with the party right now, so I'm gonna
Aw.
have to ixnay that. I didn't reintroduce him at the moment, so. So we're gonna say So at the moment, that is a failure, unfortunately, because it's 2 versus 3. All right, so Dex. Everyone, roll your Dex base stat. Super.
Nice.
Oh, well, destroyed, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Don't even need
Sorry,
to have
that's
Lydia roll.
0. So mine's a 19.
You're 19. Okay, that's fine. That's still
Not
pass.
21, sorry.
So you guys have passed Dex. All right. Now we're going to do Wisdom. So roll your Wisdom base stat.
Oh wait,
Good.
Sorry.
Good.
I mean, if it wasn't the
13.
save, you can just take out, what,
Yeah,
like,
take out 4.
Yeah.
yeah, 11. So, again,
Including 11.
success.
Still pass. Okay, and finally we're going to do Intelligence. So everyone roll your
Oops.
8-based Intelligence.
Ready for this?
That's polarized.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
19. 6.
Mm.
Lydia, please roll intelligence. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
That's a passive 2 versus
3 and a
three
crit fail.
and a crit
I'm
fail, yeah.
imagining that he
It's
does something particularly.
It's like polar opposite. It's like this is how you use Eldritch Blast, and he fires it into the crowd as opposed to aiming it up.
He use Eldritch Blast, throws out hand. Wait, I'm not him.
It doesn't
And then
work.
everyone just stares.
Yes, in disbelief.
Scratch that.
Okay, so out of the base stats, you guys did pass a majority of them. So we're gonna say that the training has taken a few hours. Perrin has been training people with like knives. Owen is training some of the spellcasters there, trying to get their abilities a little better honed. Peacebringer's bringing in snacks, so like those little sandwiches that are like triangular in shape, a mix of like egg salad and tuna melt. Hiv Sam is trying
Formation.
to instruct toddlers on how to use a long sword. Unfortunately, it didn't work as well as he had been hoping, but he managed
Damn
to
it.
get 2 of the toddlers to lift one up almost 3 inches from the ground. So progress.
Great success.
And
We are
Oust
achieving-
is teaching defensive formations and tactics. So pikemen are like training how to use their pikes and using out how to use them in defensive ways and forming a pike wall and formations and such like that. So we'll say
What is Owen doing?
when you're helping the spellcasters, so you're teaching them
Yep,
how
sounds
to
like an Alwyn thing to do. That's
be
fine.
more useful in combat and be more agile, avoid projectiles and stuff. She's just
Her
basically she
advice
takes up
is
like
generally very acidic.
she takes up 2 hand crossbows, points it at the individuals, and says, "Dodge!" and fires them.
We're
And they're
going
just
to
like,
teach
"Ah!"
about a little thing called evasion today.
It's just like
the crossbow bolt.
off to the side, you guys hear like some faint screaming and just a
Point
couple
blank.
thunks against like a wooden target behind a couple of individuals who are like cowering in a corner on the ground.
Sir Oust just sighs.
It's
Well,
just,
at least some things stay the same.
Owen's just like looking at
Doing
them.
pretty good.
She just look at them as she reloads a crossbow. She's like, "Good, and again."
From the top?
From the top.
Aim for the head.
All right. So we're gonna say that you guys managed to get that successfully finished off, no problem. Training winds down. A lot of the refugees feel like they've got a good handle of the weapons they've been assigned, and a couple of spellcasters are very afraid to be the ones fighting against Alwyn in combat, for various reasons. And we'll say Morgak was able to add a bit of cooking skill to his repertoire as well. A couple of pine cones were found in the sandwiches, but he finds that provides a lot more fiber than anything
But
else.
if my elk can eat it, you can eat it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
He's pushing his vegan agenda on the...
Whoa. Let's not go that far.
It's
They
just a
make
vegetarian
sandwiches
diet.
going
Come
vegan,
on.
so You're not.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Also, again, I am so sorry if I had just kind of dozed off.
It's okay. I'll poke you on occasion to keep you...
Don't poke me, scream at me.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Wake
instead.
up.
Wake up before you go. Don't keep me hanging on like a yo-yo.
Okay, there, George.
Okay, so you guys have completed training as much as you can. You feel fairly confident that a lot of these people have their abilities down, so that's probably the best you can do at the moment.
And for those children, in 10 years, they'll be a hell of a swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh no, it's child soldiers. It's even more like Metal Gear. What are we doing?
I wasn't thinking Metal Gear. I was thinking of Dragon Ball Z, the abridged version.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we give him weighted equipment.
Look, Vegeta, a Pokemon.
Pokemon, I'm a Chaozu.
It's a Chotsu. I'ma catch it. Okay, it's time to focus back. So
Not the
you
uses.
you guys are done training. You kind of walk about, taking a look at some of the fortifications that are being put together at the front gate, and things are coming along fairly nicely. Off to the side, though, as you're walking through the area, you notice that there is a group of what look to be orcs, and they're kind of stripped down to just like their loincloths, and they're facing forward, and they're kind of flanked by several guards, and one dwarf clad in black iron armor holding a whip, and he's just kind of like going up and down the line, and it looks like he's kind of like shouting at them, pointing his finger at each and every orc. As you approach, it looks like some of them are bruised and beaten. A couple have their eyes, an eye or two swollen shut from what looks to be physical violence. And you kind of overhear the dwarf in the center yelling at them that if nobody comes forward, he's going to execute the lot of you.
Question: is Hrivsem 1 or Hrivsem 2 online?
Hifsem 2 is online, so Paladin.
If he sees that, there is a chance he's going to charge at them.
Okay, well,
He does.
okay. So you charge full tilt into them, into the dwarven guards?
Yeah, with no weapons, just, horse.
Oh, just the horse. Okay.
To make them break away.
Yeah.
So you're trying to create a distraction so the orcs are able to escape?
No, to to scare away the dwarves.
The dwarves. Okay. So I will have you roll for intimidation.
Luckily, I have a nice bonus.
Very nice.
That is very nice. So you're charging full tilt into these dwarves, and they barely have enough time to leap out of the way before your horse rears up and nearly knocks back the dwarf that's in the center onto his back. He kind of stumbles a little bit. The orcs, on the other hand, just kind of like part like a C just as he stumbles backward and lands on his backside. And he's just kind of like clamoring like you would see a turtle trying to get back up. And he's like, "Lads, help me up, you useless gits!" and the dwarves
Don't move.
are just kind of like side glancing at the dwarf on the ground and looking up at you and going like, "Oh, I don't know what to do, like what's going on." So they're kind of holding their position for now.
So he basically, over the horse, he's looking really huge. So he goes over him and says, "Why did you beat those orcs, friend?"
So he kind of like rolls onto his side and slowly gets up, spits on the ground beside you, and is like, "Those orcs over there, they're sabotaging our equipment. They want Dagon Vor to overrun us. I'm trying to find which ones are responsible, and they're gonna get their heads lopped off."
Christian speaks in Dwarvish. And how do you know they are responsible of this?
And he speaks back in Dwarvish, "Because they're orcs, laddie. They're evil anyway. They worship Dagon Vor. They helped him do what he's done to our lands. They're no good, and they deserve to be executed."
That's
If
harsh.
I'm familiar in the laws of the human kingdom, for slavery you can be killed, straight away, hanged. However, you're a dwarf, and you're expected to do so, but you're not executed. So question of mine is, should they be guilty of everything, if only because they are orcs? Or you have a solid proof that they are?
So he just kind of like kicks a rock out from beside him and was like, "Well, what do you suggest then? Leave them alive so they can kill us all in our sleep?"
No, but the interrogation will be done properly. He finishes that with the common and he calls, "Sternritter, can you give me a hand? You too, Peacebringer."
Morgak is going to talk to the orcs while he is doing all that.
Oh, well, little thing off to the side with Morgak and the orcs then.
Yeah, we'll do that first. So
Yeah.
the orcs are you kind of like pull a group of them
No,
aside. There's like
Just a second. The moment they approach, I cast Zone of Truth.
Oh, okay. So you're casting it on the group of orcs then?
Yeah,
Okay.
that circles both the orcs
It's
and the
inclusive with
dwarves.
Morgak, but whatever, should be fine. Well, Morgak. Oh, wait. Who does he consider a friend? Because, he's getting real close to them and he has that aura going on.
That's the
Just
question.
keep it off of.
Alright, fair enough.
Friendly, but we're going to go with neutral for now.
Good deal.
Okay. that
Yeah,
works.
you would basically know that I casted Zone of Truth because they're like a team. They'll probably know each other. From before.
It's
There is
possible.
a Zone of Truth. You need to be careful with your. So, gentlemen, I think you need to answer some questions. You will not be beaten,
Unless
at
they
least now. So please tell us what you say on what the Obersturmbannführer says. He looks at the dwarf.
I'm saying orcish just to keep it simple. The fuck did you guys do?
So, there's 4 orcs in total. There's 3 males and a female. The female actually recognizes you, Morgak, but barely. She's just like, Morgak, is that you?
Recognize this orc?
You don't, but original Morgak would. This is the same.
I'm Morgak, but I don't think I'm the Morgak you're thinking. It's complicated.
And she just kind of like nods. It's like, right. So, we didn't do anything. They accused us of destroying the machines. We did nothing of the sort.
That's the feeling I had. You have any idea who would do something to their machines?
Don't know, don't care. Bunch of jerks anyway. We've been enslaved for them for years. We're always trying and get away, but now we're stuck here like all the rest of you. Just gonna die too.
Which is exactly why you wouldn't have much of a reason to actually destroy their stuff. If they die, we all die.
Why would we expedite our own deaths? What's the point of that?
Nods in agreement. How beat up do they all look?
Bruised and it doesn't look like there's anything physically broken. One orc looks to be holding his left arm a little bit, but aside from that, it's like they're able to walk and move their hands and arms fairly easy enough. It's mostly just like
to the one.
Yeah.
I go to the one with the broken fist, the wounded left arm or whatever, and just say, "You arm."
And he just kind of like holds it out as best he can, but he can only make it up maybe a quarter of the way before he just kind of winces in pain, and he head kind of like turns away.
I grab it and I do a lay on hands and heal him for 5.
Cool. So you hear just underneath the skin, muscles kind of like contracting up, and even like the sounds of bones mending as they just crack back into place. It looks like he had maybe like some sort of like hairline fracture or something, but now his arm is good as it was before, and he just kind of like gives you the toothy grin and nods at you.
I just put my hand on his shoulder and just say, "I'll take care of things, but stay put."
Yeah.
Turn back to her sim.
Yeah, in the
They
meantime,
weren't
I'll be... Yeah, but before that, I'd like to interrogate the dwarves while he is speaking with the orcs.
Okay.
So he would ask, so even if they are not guilty, I would like to ask, when did you notice the damage to the equipment and how?
So he says that the damage has been going on for at least a week. At first, it was just small things like tools or replacement parts missing. And then it got to the point where there were entire like pieces kind of like wrenched out of place in the machinery that they had, as well as bags of gunpowder started going missing. And they would hear on occasion overnight some small explosions. They would go out and they would see that the constructs that they had been blown to pieces. So they assumed that they were able to make some makeshift bombs from the gunpowder, put them into the constructs or next to them, and sabotage them by blowing up pieces or hunks of them. So entire arms and legs are missing. They're constantly doing repairs. They are stretched thin with guards, enough as it is. So they decided to basically form a brute squad and start beating it out of people. Starting with the orcs.
Okay, so then a couple questions. Are there any orcs that are dedicated to repairing the machinery and such first? And the second one, are the orcs separated from the rest of the slaves? like in the area close to the machines or not?
So, in the beginning, the orcs were allowed to install parts and pieces onto the constructs, but since the siege has begun, they've been relegated to the lower mines in their owned encampment. Right now, those mines are being planned to be sealed off, so Dagon doesn't have a chance to, flank around the rest of the army. Any pocket you can find. Okay. So as they're having this conversation, Perrin, you kind of manage to make your way to one of the guards that is paying attention to the conversation between the warden and Hivsam. And let's see if he notices, but I'm going to just give him a flat d20 just because he's got nothing. So if he rolls a nat, then...
Well, he did roll in that.
So
He did indeed.
he did. So you manage to
You
not only
undress him.
you manage to not only cut away at his entire gold pouch that he has on him with 20 gold in it, but you
He's
also
rich man.
you also managed to eye a very nice runic dagger. That looks fancy. That'll look good in your dagger collection. So you managed to grab that too. So just put runic dagger in your inventory as well as 20 gold.
Nice.
Yeah, he didn't notice a thing. Okay, so the plans the warden had, the guy in the black iron armor, he says they were just going to seal off that area and let those orcs rot like they should.
Alright, I don't think that would be safe both for us and for the orcs to be just sealed away, because they can be used as the support army for the enemy. So we are going to probably investigate those guys who were to repair the equipment and such, if they saw anything, and maybe even look around the area where the equipment is stored, so we can see if there is any damage. Basically doing Sherlock Holmes stuff.
So the warden pipes up and is like, look, we appreciate the assistance in the matter, but we are not letting the orcs in our army. There is no way in Felvin's hell we're letting that happen. And he's just completely
He points to
adamant about
Morgak,
that.
and you're not letting him go into the army?
He is a guest here. That's completely different.
Alright, then their current status will be changed to guests, and then you can do, well, whatever you want after, if we survive the siege, of course, to end.
I'm going to
They're
take this to the
very-
lieutenant. And he just storms off with his little retinue of guards.
These dwarfs.
Stubborn and foolhardy.
As usual.
Familiar.
Well, I mean, that's how they all were at the start of things, weren't they? It took a country falling for the rest to realize.
True.
Always the optimist.
Yeah, optimist, realist, pragmatist. Whatever we need.
Another pessimist. Oh, that's normal for him.
Do you still have Zone of Truth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, I go back in Orcish just to them. Alright, this is just for safety's sake, just to keep a clear conscience. And just one by one says, did you have anything to do with the sabotage? And then just go down the line while they're within the Zone of Truth.
Okay. So they all say in Orcish, in unison, no.
Do you know
Just
anybody?
wanted to confirm. If we have you under a Zone of Truth, you technically can't lie.
They know they're under a spell.
Do you know anybody or anything that could have done that?
Right now, the whole group says they don't know and they don't care. They just want to get out of here like everyone else.
Okay.
No shady figures you see? Nobody looking mistrustworthy, aside from the dwarves.
They said they didn't notice anything. They're kept under strict supervision by a majority of the dwarven soldiers when they're mining and when they're working on equipment to make sure that they're not stealing anything. So they don't really notice anything outside of eat, sleep, and work.
Fair enough.
It's just been relegated to that at this point.
Do you have anything else? Is that here, Sam?
No, I'm good.
Thank you for complying. If you need anything, find me.
And they just kind of like nod and say, "Of course."
He cancels the area. We're on a cold trail if we are even doing this.
Sometimes they just change colors, like when we had snow bunnies and we just thought.
Okay. So you guys want to head towards the machine pit where they keep the constructs, or?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys head down there. It is guarded by several guards, and considering all the theft and the sabotage going on, that should not come to a surprise to you.
Nope.
As you approach the corral, the area, two dwarven pikemen approach you guys and hold up their hands and ask you what business you have here.
Do we have multipass?
Do you say Lilu Multipass? Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Or that we could. We're just investigating the sabotage. Nothing more, nothing less. You can keep watch of us while we do it, even if you'd want.
So he says, "All right, try anything, and it's your head on a spike." And they just give a
Truths
way
and
and
laughs.
a wary eye.
Yeah, no. Just
good
amusement in our
pattern.
eyes. Good soldier.
All right. Lydia, you still awake? I think she fell asleep.
Lydia.
Lydia!
Lydia! Nope.
I think she fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll continue.
Continue.
Anyway, so you guys make your way into the
might be
corral. What's that?
Lydia. Oh, we lost
Huh?
Morgan.
Oh, you awake?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morrow.
I just
Tomorrow
thought
morning.
I thought I'd just check in on you, see how you doing. You want a glass of water? Maybe some
Okay.
milk?
Oh wow, that was an impressive echo.
So, right now you guys are investigating any evidence of sabotage, and I thought you might want to take a look at that. Since you're
Yeah.
the sneaky one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take Pan along with me.
Oh,
I
you're
mean,
all there
everyone's
right now.
there. Every single person.
Yeah.
Do your investigation while Oust looks over the actual mechanisms.
Oh,
Oh.
there you go. So through your investigation, Owen, you're looking through a couple of spots where explosives look like they were placed, because that's the main section of damage. And in your investigation, you managed to find a torn hunk of cloth, sort of like wedged in the gears of one of these constructs. And this cloth is sort of like a green tunic.
Oh, the brown one? Oh, wait, okay. Cool.
So you kind of
Okay.
like wrench that free.
Well, before I rush it free, is it look like it's preventing this thing from doing something?
Yeah, don't want to lose your fingers.
Not preventing it from doing anything. This construct looks to be shut down. It's damaged elsewhere. It just so happens that there's a hunk of cloth stuck between two cogs of this machine. But it doesn't look active.
Okay. Figure out some sort of like safety measure so that when I yank it out, I don't get sucked into the gears and yank it out.
Okay. I'll say that you just managed to tear it out without anything going off and cutting off your hands or anything like that. It's about like maybe 6-7 inches in diameter. It looks like it could have been attached to somebody's piece of clothing. Not sure if it's a pair of pants or a shirt or something, but
Okay. Is there anything distinctive about it that I would recognize from like seeing maybe a uniform or something on somebody else?
roll a history check and see if you can recall anything like that. But I will give you advantage.
I like advantage.
It's tasty.
Mm-hmm. Tastes like victory.
That smells like defeat.
I don't do history.
I would say that this could be anywhere from a nobleman's tunic to like a peasant's shirt. You're not
That is a
entirely sure.
wide range.
Yeah.
It's basically like saying it can be everything.
Yep, nope. Lydia, did she get a history?
Yeah, she can. I'll let Lydia roll for history with advantage as well. If she's awake.
Pretty sure she's awake.
Oh,
her
there you
mic
go.
is just
Oh, yeah, the same
It's better.
result. It's either a tunic from a nobleman or it's a peasant's shirt or.
I'm guessing
pair
they
of
bring it
pants.
back to the others, and now we get a round of fun.
Yes.
In that case, everyone can roll for history. Why not?
But
Who wants
no
to put
advantage
on
on us.
No
Right.
advantage. Well, okay. Advantage for Oust and Hivsam, not Morgak.
I'm blind. I don't know if.
Oh, you just feel it. You're just like, this is a cotton blend.
From the Ming dynasty.
Clearly,
Let's see.
cotton polyester blend from the regions of Gutenheim.
Nice textile work.
So
80%
we're
cotton,
gonna say
10%
that
polyester.
Hivsam, you know that this to
Don't
be
wash
all
them plus 80
traitor.
degrees.
Hivsam, you know this to be what
Wash in cold water.
is an elvish tunic. You're still not entirely sure if it's noble or peasant, but you know for sure it's elvish. You can tell by the cross stitching. Oust, you give it a bit of a whiff, and you smell lavender and eucalyptus on it. So you know it's elvish, and you know there's the smell of lavender and eucalyptus on it. So there's a strong possibility that whoever wears this or wore it
Some kind
is
of potion
is
maker?
either it could be a potion maker or it could be a ranger, someone who is a hunter-gatherer type individual.
We've got a limitation. Need to gather everyone around. Discreetly, mind you. Probably
like
bring
real
it up to the
Sherlock
lieutenant. Bring it up to the lieutenant and the queen. See if they can
Oh my god, I just found a baby.
get everyone here and have them consent to falling under the effects of the zone of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Should be easy enough.
The problem is I have only one more cast.
I can manage.
You got grass, I get
So you want to take this evidence to Nazana and the lieutenant and cast Zone of Truth on them?
No, no, no.
All
Okay.
of them.
No, I want them to bring up a crowd of suspects and then move through them. We've limited it down enough to a range that's acceptable in my eyes.
Okay.
There's going to be very few potion makers and probably far more ranger-esque people.
Okay.
Especially those that wear elvish clothing. Unless this was planted here, which could have been, but I'm dubious.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then we'll be able to see what happens.
So, to save time, we'll say you guys make your way with that evidence to Nazana and the lieutenant. They take it under advisement. They send out a couple guards to gather up a few people from the refugee camp which fit that description, and they bring them to you. They find about, we'll say, 4 that maybe fit that description. Luckily for you guys, the dwarves are very, very good at keeping records of everyone who enters and exits this area, including having them sign in. So they have found human apothecary, and they also have found what looks to be a female elf ranger, and a couple of younger elven men, one that looks to be maybe a peasant or a farmer, and then another younger elf who could actually be the son of that farmer. So they've gathered up those individuals and they've presented them to you.
That son of a peasant. Alright. Well, these are our prime suspects then.
So what are you doing, Perrin? Hiding from the rest of the crowd?
Say this quietly to Nizana in Undercommon, mind you. Very quietly to Nizana in Undercommon.
Are you robbing more of the guards?
In the peasant's pouch, you find a single bean.
Or actually, a breadcrumb.
3 beans, actually. 3. And they're green beans. They're good for you.
Magical.
Yeah. So, okay, so Perrin, what are you looking for exactly? Are you stealthily looking through the pockets of the suspects, or are you looking through the guard stuff again? I think it's push to talk is off again.
Yeah, sorry. The guards, the suspects probably won't have anything fun. So, like keys, coins, anything that I could find useful down the road.
Okay. We're gonna say that you take a look at least one guard.
I gotta go for a second, I'll be right back.
Okay. 18, and then another guy got a 6. Okay. So you're looking through, just kind of like haphazardly staring into a couple of pouches. We're gonna say that you find a interesting rune stone in one of the guard's pockets. It's glowing sort of like a bluish green hue to it. You also find maybe about 10 silver from another guard.
Nice.
So they've lined up these individuals for question. The dwarven lieutenant goes up to you, Hivsam, and he says, like, well, we've gathered up all these people for you, but what about him? And he points to Perrin as he's just kind of like standing beside one of the other dwarven guards, looking completely flabbergasted, I'm sure.
Oh, what about him, friend?
Him back, what did I miss?
Which Hivsam is which?
So Lothar. You're Lothar still.
What did I miss? What?
So the dwarven lieutenant, has gathered up these suspects, but he's also looking at your friend Perrin with a little bit of suspicion. He's like, he looks a bit shady. Have you maybe thought he could have been one doing stuff too? He arrived at our place. Oh, let me see the ledger there. And he looks at the ledger like, about 2 weeks ago. And that's when the problem started.
Perrin, are you willing to stand in the circle and pledge your truth?
Sure. I got nothing to hide. I wasn't there 2 weeks ago. I was out with you guys.
That is reasonable. However, we need to prove the gentleman. It would definitely not hurt him. Or you.
Indeed.
So, the
In my
dwarven...
experience, I've noticed the first to point fingers is usually the one that's got something to hide.
That is correct, sir. May you please stand with the group?
You talking to the dwarven lieutenant?
Yeah.
And he looks at you with an incredulous stare. And he just like furrows his brows like, all right, but I get to ask the question of your friend first. I've got a
Just
few...
the question of his loyalty,
He's like,
mind you.
I've got a few concerns of my own, if you don't mind.
My
Just
thoughts.
right back
Fine.
in. What's your problem, home digger?
Mine fine, don't get too hasty.
He's like, oh, no problem at all, pointy-eared little freak.
And everyone raises their eyebrow.
with the
Pretty
except
cool.
That is a thing that applies to all. Oh shit.
with the exception of Morgak, who just whips out a bag of popcorn.
But Morgak has pointy ears.
He is, but he's not an elf.
No.
So are we going into combat? Awesome. Let's see. There's
Nah.
20 guards.
Oh dear. Remember that
All have
time
magical
when we were-
resistant armor. Plus 20 to hit.
Oh,
Remember when the monk guy joined and we were like watching him getting beaten?
No,
It's the
my
same scenario.
initiative button is next to my stealth button on my macros. I hit the wrong one.
Okay. Oh, you got me all excited there. Dang it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so you roll for stealth for what purpose?
I'm just getting ready to sneak and disappear because I don't trust this dwarf right now. He's a little finger pointing.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So, you go ahead and cast the Zone of Truth and get started?
Yep.
All
keep in mind, let yourself fall under the effects of the spell.
Okay.
Very much so. You have to let it happen. I know you're an elf, so you'll have some kind of natural resistance to its effects, so try and avoid letting yourself throw it off.
Okay.
So, Oust is gonna cast it, since he has the highest spell save out of the paladins, I believe.
Okay. And what's the
So-
spell save, just for a heads up?
17.
Ooh, that is high. Okay. All right. So going
So down
down
10
the
spell
list of
slot.
people, what is the first question you ask? I'll let you do 3.
Per person?
Yeah, for the whole group. Basically, I'm gonna let you address them as a group, and they will answer individually.
Alright. First things first. Do any of you have anything relating to or know anyone relating to the sabotage of the war machines?
9.
And going down the line, everybody else says no, and you get the impression that they're seeing the truth.
Mhm. What was the next
Getting
question?
tricky.
What was that?
This is getting a little bit tricky. Maybe ask if there is a person with this kind of perfume or whatever it was.
Yeah, what was it? Lavender and
Eucalyptus.
eucalyptus. Go ahead and ask about that.
Is it me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any person who has or who is capable of getting the perfume with or anything that smells like eucalyptus or the what was it, lavender?
So you see some mild resistance coming from the farmer, the son, and the apothecary, but both kind of say, yes, we can.
Last question. Whoa. Who popped in and popped out?
Internet problems.
Oh, I get you.
Oh.
What should our last question be then? Ask if they have any family. Because they know that they didn't actually do anything. They're also aware that they don't know anyone that would do anything. Or at least they don't
If
think they
sold,
would do anything.
if they sold that to any elvish person,
Good question.
Remember the hints that I gave you guys, too. It wasn't just the sabotage that they were doing, they were also stealing things.
I know all about that.
What
I can
did-
investigate that for you.
What did they steal, or what did the dwarven warden say that they were stealing?
Gunpowder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when I get a chance, I'll go and leave some notes for my criminal contacts in the area and see if they can give me any information on missing things.
Okay, sure. I'll let you do that after this is all finished up.
So, we've got two options here on what to ask. It's either, do you know anyone who has been seen with gunpowder recently? Or we could ask, have you sold lavender and eucalyptus to anyone recently?
Well, the gunpowder question needs to be a bit differently formulated because, there can be a guard that, took the gunpowder to the, like relocating it or.
Of course, I
sending
need to
the
reword
mine.
it, but you know what I was getting at.
Yeah, it's probably we should go with the gunpowder.
Yeah. Or we could include both in a single question.
Yeah. Which would be a cumbersome sentence, but yeah, we can try.
Suppose the question to ask would be, has anyone that you know of purchased lavender and eucalyptus? And as well as, do you know anyone who has acquired or has been seen with gunpowder who should not have it?
So those are two separate questions. Choose one of those.
I'd say the second one.
But, I mean, keep in mind the lavender and... Well, yeah.
Yeah, it would be included with if the people who do the lavender thing speak anything. It's quite inclusive a bit.
I mean, we could just ask them about the lavender afterwards.
Yeah.
So
We have,
they'll be too resistant to that outside of the zone of truth. So let's go with the gunpowder question.
So repeat the question again.
Do you know of anyone who has been seen or acquired gunpowder who should not have it in the city, or any acquaintances that you have or relations?
Okay. So the only person that says yes to that question is the farmer's son.
Well,
Thank you for assisting us. We will need a certain person to ask a bit more about the things, if you
So
don't mind.
before things finish up, the dwarven lieutenant now has questions for Perrin that he would like to ask.
Oh,
So he goes up to you, Perrin, puffs out his chest a little bit, thinking he's a bit of a smarty pants here. He's like, "All right, little man, let's see what you got to hide, shall
Wait a
we?"
second. You come
he's
up
an
to
elf,
my
fine.
I mean, he's
I'm the
taller
little
than
man.
you, but
You come up
mumbles
to
under
my
his
neighbor,
breath in
I'm the little
undercommon.
man.
Sorry, Perrin, what'd you say?
You come up to my navel and I'm the little man?
Listen here, bucko, and he pokes you like in the chest as high as he can. He's like, "I'm
God,
asking.
buckaroo.
Right in the
I'm the
sternum.
one in charge of this entire city. You're gonna listen to me now." Right. So, to start us off, how did you get into the city? Did you break in? Or did you get in legally?
I walked in with my party.
Who is in your party?
The people that are with me here.
Yeah, no, just wave in their direction. To be honest, sir, he actually got cleared by, what was his name again? Ironbeard? Ironbeard.
Oh, that bloody Rockford Prince. He just kind of like, never mind, whatever. Okay.
Would it be worth me mentioning my contact in the city, or would that probably not be a good thing? The guy that sent me out investigating.
It's up to you. As far as you know, the Valorian Guardsmen have a very good reputation amongst elves and humans. Dwarves, you're not entirely sure. They've just kind of like dipped their toe in this area. They're trying to expand a bit here. So you're not entirely sure what kind of rep they have. It's up to you.
Roll to rep.
Roll to rep. I mean, he is your contact, but it's up to you what kind of code your character would adhere to. Is he willing to give up the contact's names, or the contact name, in order
Yeah,
to
no,
save
the
himself?
guy that sent me out on the initial to bring back information, I don't think it would make sense for me to expose that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you just keep quiet, or do you want to say something first before he gets to the last question?
Let him ask his questions.
Okay. All right.
He's
Last
an
question.
elf. He's used to these word games.
Have you done anything unlawful upon entry into the city, not excluding murder, robbery, and extortion or sabotage?
I have done none of the mentioned items.
Yeah. Based on how he said it, upon entry could be construed as upon immediate entry.
Yeah.
Should have made it more clear.
Or upon entry of the woman I spent the night with.
This is also true.
If you're so wanting.
Not you, Owen. He had a barmaid.
I had
Yeah,
a
no, it was a
barmaid
bartender.
that didn't buy me.
Barmaid,
Yeah,
rather.
yeah. That wasn't reference. That wasn't a dig at you or anything. Okay, so he just like raises his eyebrow a little bit, and he's like, "All right, I'll believe you for now. Have at thee, boys." And then he snaps his fingers, and
Hold on.
immediately four
Fine.
guards start to flank the young man, and he's looking very panicked.
He
Defined had
knows
questions for
of
you.
the person. Does not mean it was something willful. As far as we know, he's under some kind of spell. Give him a little bit of space, and we can ask questions civilly instead of carrying him through the entire city and possibly alerting the saboteur to what we're doing.
I don't think we have to worry about that. And he takes the boy's hands, grasps them firmly, flips them over, and they are black with soot. Perhaps you could explain that to me.
Let him go. Fine.
Pretty easy enough to handle soot-covered objects here.
Yeah, maybe black powder, perhaps. We're going
Could
to
be.
be
Might
locking
not
this
be.
young man up and interrogating him in our way now. We appreciate the assistance. And he immediately starts going to get some iron shackles to put on his arms.
Do I
Sure,
need to
some stands in
take
front of him.
this to a higher level, sir? I don't
You're
think
right.
you're quite in your
Anyway.
depth right now.
Boy, I
Quite out
am
of
the
it even.
higher level here now, and don't you talk down to me. You try anything,
Ignoring
we'll
the
arrest you
thought
for
he has
obstruction of
trying to
justice.
say kind of hard not to.
My dear Dummkopf, final warning. Let him go slowly.
You really want to do this here, lad? After we're being besieged by undead, you really want to start a fight in a dwarven city with many dwarven soldiers around you? They will take you down before you have a chance to draw your next breath. I suggest
Would you really go
don't
against your
stop
gods
me.
favored?
And how would that be?
And we also have another portal, but it's missing 2 blocks.
There are quite a few things you might not know about us. And he holds out a hand and lets a small bit of fire dance around it. Of course, these are only parlor tricks to what I've learned under him.
Roll for intimidation. So he puts the iron shackles back on his belt, and he's like, "You have 10 minutes. I will return with my men until then. Better get as much information out of you as you can, because he's going to jail later." And he just like takes his men and immediately starts walking off.
Mr. Morgak, please hold me, I will murder him. He said that when he leaves.
He ignores you completely. Perrin, what are you using the thief tools on?
To pick the handcuffs and to stealth the kid away.
Oh no,
Uh,
he's
The handcuffs
he's-
are off.
he
handcuffs
put him
didn't
back
even get
away.
put on.
He put him back away. He's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he left the kid
We've
with you
got
guys.
10 minutes. The rest of you, except the boy's father. The boy's father is there as well,
Yeah, he
right?
is. Yeah.
Could you please feel free to leave? Thank you for your time.
So they all just disperse.
Disperse.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The father puts himself between you guys and his son.
Now, we're only here to try and make it so that he doesn't go to jail. And heavens know we have enough struggles as it is with people. We just want to talk and figure out what's happening. Ideally, we can make it so that he has a lower sentence, or best comes to best, we can actually make it he has none.
You promise
Well,
no
it
harm will
is
come to my
imperative.
son. Promise me that.
I can promise I will try my very hardest to avoid that.
I promise that find.
He's not quite a man yet.
So he just kind of like nods silently, and he puts his boy in front of him with his hands on his shoulders. This kid looks maybe 17 or 18 in elf years, not old at all. Obviously very visibly shaken and nervous that he almost got arrested. So yeah.
So, let's just be honest to each other here, alright?
So he just kind of shakes his head. Or nods his head, I should say.
I was about to say,
Yeah, that's wrong. Wrong word.
What? Chicago.
he
Why are there so many zombies?
goes ahead, and I guess we should start asking questions. Now, gunpowder. Do you know where and who this is all revolving around?
So he shakes his head this time, and he says, "No, like, she just told me that if I got her gunpowder, we'd all be saved. It'd be fine."
She.
Yeah.
And who is this she?
She came here like a couple weeks ago. I don't know her name. She didn't really give one, but she didn't. It was weird. Like, she had like a really long glove on one of her hands, and the other one was fine. She always wore a hood. I can't really explain like where she came from.
Do you have any?
Oh, you.
Cut it out!
You.
Evil cackle.
I just was falling asleep and I woke up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
God damn it.
All right. So to reiterate, to catch you up a little bit, Alwyn, someone has been sabotaging.
Alwyn, indeed.
Someone has been sabotaging dwarven constructs, and they found out that a young elvish boy was assisting the saboteur in sabotaging these constructs. And the only description he was able to give is that it's a she that had a very long glove on one arm, and that was about it.
Is the smell suddenly starting to feel more familiar?
Oh dear God, no.
Yep. It smells identical to what Alwyn usually wore every morning.
You.
Easy.
You're coming with me for a talk.
Where's Alwyn at again?
You're with the group.
You're with them, and you're seeing Sir Oust pale the fuck into just an alabaster tone.
Prism is still a bit confused who that might be.
Well, she doesn't know much about that thing, what was going on, but she did know that she never met her version of his version of Alwyn. So she's
No, she's
kinda...
not really gonna step into that yet.
No.
I don't think, but you know.
She actually is curious at the moment, but I'm also really scared, so it's kind of...
It's okay.
Both are.
Yeah.
I don't think Aegon would have let her.
Let who?
We have a stack of them.
I'm confused a bit.
All of them?
If she was willing to be with him in the end.
You mean
Yeah.
mine?
Yeah.
Heilig Scheiße. It cannot be true.
fuck are you saying?
No, nine. No,
I'm
that is
going
9 possible.
I'm going to reiterate something that happened in the past that definitely a couple of you characters would have remembered when I would say Chronox gave you hints as towards the identification of the person who was Dagon. One of the hints was the fact that you killed his love. Who did you guys kill again?
I didn't kill anybody.
No, you didn't. Sir Oust and Lothar sure as hell did, though. And Peacebringer.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I don't know nothing.
We did. We killed something dead. Real dead.
Real dead.
Ooh,
I don't
yeah,
know
dead.
him again. That's not good.
Did you just come with her?
Need to draw this. Sorry, a second.
Ew.
What is with everyone?
Yeah, your character escapingly getting with
I don't know at this point, and she's not even my character. She's your three's combination of whatever the fuck I was. I plead the fifth on this case, so fuck you.
And the
Yeah.
Holy
Be yourself,
Lord,
you coward.
Sorry, not into that.
Ugh.
You are a real person. You're gross.
Jumping on the bookmark.
Gross.
She does love her fantasy characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. The nap I took has woken me. I am so sorry.
It's okay. And no, Sir Oust is definitely going to have a discussion with also Peacebringer,
Again?
it's Peacebringer thinking of this conversation. Is he gonna roll insight?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's give it a shot for insight.
Yeah, who knows?
You can be really fast.
Come on.
Above average.
Yeah, so you know they're talking about a woman, you're just not sure which one. Because there have been many.
One glove on one hand, it's very long.
One
And
one hand.
one hand. Hmm. Sounds familiar. Tip of my tongue.
You mean this?
So, I have a question for you
Indiscreetly
three.
glances at Alwyn.
Yes? Can I help?
In this situation, I don't think you can.
Oh, if it involves killing someone, I would gladly do it.
Right. Go kill Dagon. Good luck.
Do not trust that.
I need a moment.
You gonna go
Forgive me.
over and just scream obscenities?
9.
Oh,
How
boy.
far away from this water stream?
We'll say that you guys are pretty close. Like you were like over here.
Okay, remember that time when Crimson got his hair burned and he went to the water to clean himself up?
Yes.
Exactly the same spot Crimson is going to shove his head inside.
Okay. So you see Hifsam just like dunk his head into the water immediately.
He's there.
So,
Right.
And he does it again.
I pulled something out that smelled like me with like cloth or fabric or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you can roll perception on the cloth to see if it's what you're wearing. You're like, yeah, it smells like me. That's weird. What are you gonna go with? I mean, it's not even guaranteed you wore
Could
this.
be insight or investigation even, actually. Investigation would
guess.
be telling what it is, insight would be telling where it came from, I would say. So investigation, you're just like, it smells nice. I like this smell. Insight,
I hate this.
you're not entirely sure where it came from. Yeah.
What?
But it smells nice.
Well, if anyone is going to be able to handle this type of issue, it probably will be the time traveler.
There you go.
Owen, I'm sorry. Still, please wait. Stern, Aust, we need to talk a bit.
We do.
Okay.
What are we gonna do about the kid?
I think we should let him. No, we need to ask him where we can find her, the person.
Do they have a meeting location?
That we need to ask.
Go ahead and ask him that.
Okay. So you ask him if they have a meeting location, and he says that she just comes to him in the night when he's asleep at the camp. That's it.
Scheiße. We need to set up an ambush, but I don't think we can do that properly.
Not now, no. If he goes to jail, we can't do a stakeout.
We need to wait for the lieutenant to come back. We'll talk about that, and then we'll have a conversation, Lothar.
I
We can
agree.
do that. Or we can go hunting.
In the meantime, watch out for he points his head just in general direction, but just in case we don't know if the person is still not.
At this point, Alan would have precipitation and has a cigarette in her mouth.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go off of that just for now. Perrin, I'm gonna say that you are seeking out your contact, Gunther, in the bar. And he's waiting there at the usual spot. What do you say to him? Perrin?
Shit, the damn mic again. Sorry.
That's okay.
Gunther was my mission contact. I'm talking about my criminal contacts.
Oh, criminal contacts. Okay.
In my background.
Okay. So how about we roll for investigation and see if you're able to find any of those particular contacts.
Okay, because I know I had found the one set of signs when we entered the city.
Yeah. Okay.
Smexy, just a second. Didn't you say we saved his life, not killed his love?
No.
He said killed his
Killed
love
his
as well.
love. And saved his life.
And your helmet.
Oh, okay. It's okay then.
Of course, I'm just a damn it, and it's not person. Because I really do.
We did something really cool. You're gonna love it.
Sorry, I see we're cutting out there.
I'm more thinking that it's something that you're doing to mislead us from the person that is actually his love. Because that is totally something you would do.
This could be mistranslations, you know. Chinese telephone and whatnot could be a little mixed up. You never know.
Yeah.
Any hoozle. Perrin, we're gonna say that you're walking about, and you notice that there is a thieves' cant etched into the side of the statue over here, that basically tells you to return to this spot at night, which is, according to your calculations, going to be probably within the next, 4 hours. It's going to be evening.
Okay. So then I will head back to the party and let them know I got to be someplace in 4 hours.
Aside from that, so you guys now have the kid. You see the lieutenant approach with almost an entire platoon of men. It looks like he's bent on taking this young man in custody, whether you like it or not at this point. You can tell by the size of this army and the way they are equipped, it would take a long, hard-fought battle before they're willing to give up this child. So it's up to you if you guys want to do this the hard way or the easy way.
At this point, the Alwyn just gets done and then goes over to the elf kid. Hi! Hello there.
Hi.
He says as dwarves get closer with shackles.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he's not paying complete attention to you, Owen. You notice his glance is kind of like off to the side, watching these dwarves approach.
She will take a seat down on the ground
He's like the size of a 17-year-old.
Yeah, he's 17. He's like a really young kid.
So,
Oh, like actually 17. Oh boy.
Elf.
Oh,
Got it.
no. Don't.
No, she's not gonna
Okay.
seduce him. God.
Oh
Why
my
not?
god, no!
Ew.
To some extent, I'm afraid a little bit.
We're keeping this PG-14, guys. Come on.
He said
was
he was
trying-
18. He's an elf, you sick fuck.
She would take a seat and just be like, look, I'm sorry that the dwarves haven't been treating you all right. Are you and your father servants here?
You ask if his servants are here?
No, I asked, are they servants here? Or
Okay.
slaves?
So no, they came with the rest of the refugees.
Mm. I see, and the dwarves are being rude and racist as usual, correct? She'd be speaking all this in not dwarvish, but elvish at this point.
Yeah. He just kind of like nods weakly. The guards are going to be there at any second now.
She then stands up and pats the little boy on his head, as Alwyn will step up to the dwarf guard, and she won't do anything quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, before you arrest this boy, may I ask you for a kind treatment as he did nothing terribly wrong?
So the lieutenant pipes up and he says, like, if you haven't found out who the actual saboteur is, this child shall be treated as a combatant and jailed.
Okay, first off, this child is barely above the age to fucking walk, let alone be mentally capable of being a sentient
If-
creature.
Growth in was at the rate of a normal load.
So, yeah.
He's barely above the age of 4 to a human.
That is right.
Just because of that does not mean that they need to be chained up and treated as a criminal.
And
Yeah.
while the boy is not truly guilty, we still cannot produce the person who is. However, we are on the good trace.
No.
However, we need to investigate a bit more. So I suppose you should not treat
What
him as
I
a still guilty
recommend
person.
you do is you keep a close guard around him, as this person seems interested in the continued manipulation of him.
If need be, I will be able to stay the night there.
Oh my god. That
I don't think
that
that is
would be
necessary.
fantastic, but
Character development, eh?
Alwyn meets Alwyn. Fight!
Force.
And then it turns out she's a 20th level character.
Okay, first off, no.
It'd be glorious.
No, probably like 17th level.
Okay, no.
Just being realistic, she's probably close to the same level of the Lich, and a Lich is a 17th level caster, isn't it?
I
Like
think
a
so.
normal Lich is.
Yeah, normal lich. Yeah, definitely. He can cast 9th level spells.
Okay, yeah, that's great and all, but
Well,
I would
pretty
rather
much.
not fight that.
I know, and it'd be a stomp. Because character development, Lydia. And 5e lets you heal entirely over a long rest.
Okay. So persuasion. Let's see. I'm gonna give the dwarf lieutenant advantage on this, just because the guy has heard so many stories from you guys. He's kind of getting tired of it. So 1 roll.
Stories, excuses, I don't get it!
Roll. He got an
Oh,
18
God.
instead of a 23. So he's like, at this point, he's not going anywhere. Fine. But if we see him going around the construct corral again, he's getting a bolt in the eye. And he
So,
takes his guards and just
think Yeah. You should
Takes
put
off.
a watch on his place where he resides, just in case the person appears again.
Apparently, she's been trying to meet with him and manipulate him. I mean,
Yeah.
youth with elves are fairly easy to manipulate.
Whoa!
Unfortunate trait.
Boy!
I said youth. He's literally 4 years old in compared to the mental
no,
maturation
I-
of a human.
He's 17 in elf years. Elf years as in 17 years old elf, not 17 years human.
Oh,
He's not
Well, never
he's
mind
not a
that.
baby, he's an adolescent.
well then we're fine then. Just keep watch on him.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say a 4-year-old was setting explosives. That's a little difficult for him.
Black Sam. Boom.
Black Sand go boom. Yeah, no.
Oh God, Archimedes, no.
So Awen,
me the goblin.
immediately you hear in your head a message that Perrin needs you to follow him, and you see him kind of like run off across the bridge in this direction, past the statue.
Low growl, and then she turns to the 3 paladins. I don't know what you're all planning, but I need to know in the future, and I'm going to go now.
Tell you about it once about it.
You're good. You can have it.
Okay. This
It's
is
causing you all a
Is
bunch
it
of
out of
stress, and I
our-
want to know.
give
I like you. I like
us.
you more. Yeah, it's causing you all a lot of stress, and I like them and you guys and Perrin a little bit more than the other 2.
What's not the
I'm more amused at the thought of Frick inside. Being, I hate you. I hate you. It's-
Just on the inside, just
Yeah.
seething anger.
How many mobs are there?
She will then walk off with Perrin.
Possible
Oh, he's already making a beeline, like he's running.
I cast invisibility self on myself. I let her know what I was doing with my message cantrip.
Oh yeah. So you can't see him, but you are basically
Oof.
poof gone.
But basically, I told you I saw some guy spying on us, and when he saw me seeing him, he took off. So I'm casting invisibility and going to investigate.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So I'm going to say, Perrin, that you see the figure make its way down a tunnel system here. I'm assuming
Okay.
you continue to follow then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll have the weasel out in front of me.
Okay. Let's see if I can find this part of the map here. Level 2. Where's level 2? Come on now.
There's always mobs under here.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so back to this one. So this is the second level of the
This is a throwback.
the mine. I know, right? So you're making your way to here.
Oh,
The
place again.
figure hops in one of the mine carts and starts pumping the accelerator and going down straight in this direction here.
Okay.
I'm going to say, just for posterity, that there is another minecart here if you want to use it, or you can just make chase by running.
I'll make chase by running. It's probably safer for me.
Okay. Awen?
Yeah, it's more acrobatics than athletics.
I should say, Perrin, do you tell Awen the where you're headed?
Yep.
Okay.
Just what?
Just relaying using the message cantrip back, that's all. So eventually I'm going to run out of distance on that.
Yeah.
She lets out a sigh, then casts invisibility on herself, and then chases after him.
Okay. So, Awen, you make your way as well to the cavern, and you you see off in the distance there's like a minecart just going straight down this way. I assume you follow that.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to say that the minecart eventually makes its way to a stop, to a pit. What are you investigating?
The investigation was to see the freshest one. Or, wait, did she see the minecart go down the thing anyway?
We're going to say that, yes, you see the minecart going around the bend. But because you're far behind, I'll also say that based on your investigation roll, you were able to see the minecart go into this direction here. And,
Alright.
Abandoned orbit.
And Perrin as well will be following it and see it stop in this ore pit. So you see the figure get out and approach, just like stand in one place. And you see the individual take something out of their cloak. It looks to be a crystal of some kind, a bluish one. And it kind of like glows. She throws it. What's that?
Sort of like that ruin I found in the dwarf's pocket.
Not a rune. No, this is actual crystal. The rune was a bluish hue, but this is a crystal in itself.
Gotcha.
So you see her throw the crystal onto the ground, and it dissipates into sort of like an inky bluish black smoke, sort of like in a circular motion. And you see a skeletal lich exit out of that smoke.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I need to back up immediately.
Nope,
And-
nope.
Okay, so
Do not pass go.
go ahead and you have invisibility, so go ahead and try and stealthily hide.
Yeah, no, liches have true sight.
I know they do. I want to see if his stealth helps.
26. Ooh.
Okay.
Knowledge.
So Perrin, you managed to duck behind cover just in time upon seeing this guy. Arwen, I'll get you to.
I try to get her with a message before she gets into the area, figuring she followed me.
Okay.
Yeah, lich.
No.
Do not pass go.
Yeah, it's too late now. Arwen.
She rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20. We're gonna say that you're standing out in the open, but he hasn't seen you. So you managed to also duck behind cover. You're not even sure where Perrin is at this point because you're both still invisible.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. So Dagon puts his hand on the shoulder of this figure. The figure pulls back their hood to reveal Awen, but far less more pale.
The fuck?
Okay.
And Dagon congratulates her on the work of her sabotage that she's been performing. And he says, unfortunately, we do not have enough power left in the crystals we currently have to use this ability that we've created to our advantage, thanks to those meddling individuals who shall not be named.
The wind? What?
Ooh, we're
Yeah.
not named.
You
No,
guys
that's awesome.
you guys screwed up his plans pretty royally again. So good job on that.
Oh, updated name. The Nameless Wind.
The Nameless Wind. The walking initiators of natural
What?
disaster, bane of my existence.
The Nameless Walking Instigators of Natural Disaster. Fantastic.
Beautiful. I like it.
So he says, because you guys are eavesdropping, you're well within sight to hear what he's saying to her. And he basically is saying, like, when the time comes, I will have you open the gate, and we will lay waste to Kagrum once again. And she just kind of, like, nods. And then he also mentions that he's bringing, quote-unquote, backup. I've managed to convince her to join our side. And she just kind of like smiles, a bit of a smirky little grin, and she kind of nods and puts her hood back up. And she starts making her way back out of the cavern here. And Dagon Vor just kind of does his little teleport thing and disappears.
Was that the guy I had seen when I first came in that was opening up portals?
Yep.
I actually have a question.
Do we kill this person so that he can't connect with her again?
Connect with the evil version of Awen?
Yes.
You
Kill the evil Alwyn.
Well, you could kill the
Kill
evil
your
Alwyn.
double!
You can most certainly kill the evil Alwyn again if you wanted to.
You can try.
Mm-hmm. You can
I
certainly
don't
try.
want to. I'm just going to follow them at this point. I'm annoyed.
You're
Okay.
annoyed and confused and concerned.
I'm going to say that neither you can communicate this to each other, obviously. So, Perrin, what are your feelings right now as your character would see this individual who is now obviously a threat to everybody? Do you think you could take her, maybe? I mean, you are expecting Alwyn as backup.
I mean, may as well roll an insight to see what he thinks of her skill-wise? Just by how she moves or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's better off to follow and see what else I can uncover to make sure I have all the information for proper risk mitigation.
That's fair
And
assumption.
I mean, it's not like he's the assassin class. I don't think he'd be able to do enough damage to instantly kill her.
Not
Well,
instantly.
that's my thing.
It's probably beefy.
As beefy as another assassin would be, yeah.
I was actually thinking of sabotaging her way to wherever she's leaving, like setting up trap or something.
But not right now. Bad timing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right now she's making her way. She's actually sprinting towards that exit again, making her way back up. So
Okay.
yeah, so from here she's going this direction,
1, 2, 3,
and making her
4,
way
5.
up here.
Turn around track, going to the entrance to the surface
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, with the paladins.
Okay, so back to you guys.
Long and painful talk.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza is still. I'm not Eliza. Alwyn's going to still follow them.
Follow Alwyn. She's just gonna get up to this point, I think, at which point there are gonna be soldiers, which she just slips past.
It's a good possibility of that, yeah.
If you want to
So-
try your luck there, you can, but
It's up to you.
have.
If we see soldiers, then that means she'll turn around and try and find Perrin.
I mean, yeah, you guys can't really see each other right now, so you don't know exactly where you are. You just know that you're following both the same target. That's about it.
Can I just keep trying to use the message cantrip to see if she's close enough to at least talk to me?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
I just keep reaching out to see if I can get a hold of her.
She'll respond back as like, "All right, go
This
fuck
is
her up.
officially now Metal Gear.
Let's
Yeah.
go fuck her up, okay?
Give landmarks of where I'm going. That's all.
Let's
So
just
let's
go.
Catch up to me.
Go and fight that bitch. She's working with the enemy. Of course we gotta go fight the bitch.
Go beat yourself up.
Back up, or is it just going to be the two of us?
Fine, we're gonna get back up. But that means we're gonna lose sight of
I'm all about the stealthiness. Don't get me wrong. Well, I can have the weasel follow her and give me directions back to her later.
Fine.
Salty, angry rogue does not like this.
I'll go and let them know I'll let the Three Stooges know what's up.
Okay. And then I'll keep following, and I'll leave marks with our language so you know where to find me.
Thank you.
There you go. I think
Stay on the other
Alwyn,
side.
yeah, she'd be able to find that.
She's got thieves' cant, right?
Yes, I have Thief Camp.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So that'll work. All right, so Perrin and his fine weasel friend will follow the evil Alwyn, and then Alwyn's going to make her way back to the Paladins, which we shall return to now. So what are you guys up to? You got this kid in custody to yourself. Are you just going to let him go back to camp? And
Yeah, no, I'm just letting him go. Soroust is leaning against a wall, kneading the side of his head.
okay, yeah.
Lothar is drawing in the dust circles.
Well, what's Peacebringer doing? Seeing his entire
Looking
like group
at two of
being all
them entirely
forlorn.
confused at what they're doing.
Yeah.
Crunching on a ration. Looking about. All right.
9.
So what now?
No.
Staring at that.
At this point, you see another burly green individual start making his way to you guys, stretching his arms above his head. It's like, best nap ever.
Ah!
Loud cracking noises as he stretches.
Pretty much. It's like, oh, 10 hours is more than enough. So, what are we doing?
Trust me, Nur is really great at giving me sheep to count. 1. 1.
1.
There's so many sheep right now.
Ner. 1. Ner.
No, just... I'm not even sure if Sir Oust is going to respond to Morgak showing up.
Sam is not going to.
I'm gonna give him a disadvantage on a perception check. Shit, he notices.
Yeah,
Something to
definitely
say.
noticed that.
No, I don't think so.
Didn't
Oh, I thought you were
notice.
saying I have to roll a perception to find you guys.
No.
No, you must find a perception to find yourself.
Oh, alright, watch this.
All this time I was finding myself.
That's my perception to find myself, and here's my stealth check. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I find myself good.
Yeah, you found yourself.
Try me.
It was such a great sleep. I think I found myself.
Excellent
You got
meditation.
Frivsam drawing circles on the ground, Sir Oust looking entirely lost, and you got Peacebringer who's just munching.
He's vibing. Don't mind him.
Lovely.
He's vibing. Yeah, no, pretty much.
Just
Right.
you see him slowly moving the crunchy ration up to his mouth, taking a little bite. You hear the crunching sound. He slowly brings it.
Morgak just approaches. Hey, where'd Peacebringer go?
He's right there.
Oh,
Looks
see?
in general direction. I don't see him.
Oh, he's doing his slow movement thing. Wave a hand, Peacebringer.
You-
Shush. Don't tell him.
Where did that voice come from?
As it turns out, Orc's vision is based off movement.
Go figure.
Was there a rat there?
Yeah. They're like a form of a lizard, but not really.
Oh, damn. That's accurate.
Clones are very
It is,
impressive.
yeah.
You must be very proud.
Rifts, Lothar, we need to talk.
We need.
I don't even know where to
Damn
start with
it,
this.
I don't think I can do it again. Not again.
Meanwhile, in the cave, Owen's gonna be like, "All right, let's get rid of me. I wanna die."
I don't think it's a matter of what we want to. I think it's that we have to.
So where's regular Ost and Owen and
Flinch?
I was not expecting that sort of response. Where's
They
Baron?
Yeah,
ran
well,
off into the mines. I think they were chasing somebody who was watching us.
Oh, we should probably follow then.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
If somebody's
Oh my god!
watching us,
that
that's somebody that I
realization.
can just.
How far away
let
was
out
the
murder
person
right
who was watching us, by the way?
Oh, so you guys, let me bring that map back up here. Boop.
Just
Uh,
hypothetically.
So you guys were here. The person who ran off was hiding behind the statue here. Not far. They could see you, for sure.
Alright, but far enough it'd be outside of our senses. He'd be using bird, and even then,
Yeah, you'd have no idea.
not really.
So, as you guys are having this conversation, when you finally approach the rest of the group, your invisibility is still on. But,
Doesn't matter jack
Oust-
shit to me.
Yeah, Sir Oust definitely knows that you're here, but nobody else really knows.
Hey guys!
Where'd that voice come from?
I'm dead.
I'm
Ooh.
starting to imagine things now.
Darkness right now.
Look, no, I'm not dead. I'm just invisible. Anyway, apparently there's an evil version of me out there, and we need to go and find her.
Press
Yeah,
and punch into
yeah.
the ground really hard. Scheiße.
Listen, if this was about your former lover or something, I get it. It's going
Shut
to be
the
difficult.
fuck up, Arwen.
I don't think. I'm sorry.
Just don't.
Don't make this any harder. And he stands up and takes up the sword. Where is she?
Perrin is currently following him. I will be tracking him with Thieves' Cant.
Alright, tell us. Point us and we will be obeyed. One more time.
No sense in stopping now.
So, Alwyn, it's up to you if you point him in the general direction.
She will show them where they were going, and then would follow Perrin.
Okay. So you guys head in this direction then.
Yeah, Crimson is walking with murderous intention. With fixed stare.
Honestly, at this moment, not Eliza, Alan's like, oh great, I get to watch myself die, at least in some shape or fashion. Woo!
Woohoo!
Please.
So you guys follow along. Going back to Perrin, you're still invisible. It doesn't
Yeah,
look...
no, he's pretty fucking stable right now.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's some pretty solid stability.
Dude knows that he has to do his duty.
Yeah, duty. So, Perrin, you are still following Alwyn, and you see her enter past a few like little cavernous areas. I'll just go back to this battle map here real quick. So she finds a way to slip past the guards and make her way to the far end of the main road. She winds a corner. And are you following, or is just the weasel following and you're following slowly behind?
The weasel's following, and then I'm following behind the weasel.
The weasel sees an innumerable amount of soldiers. Can't really count them because he's very, very short.
Oh.
But there's quite a few. And the weasel sees her hold up a crossbow, turn it to the weasel, and fire into it. And the weasel's dead.
Nice.
Yeah,
You're
no.
prepared.
No, we're...
And I'm
Oh,
going
boy.
to leave it at that.
So
the-
Baron's gonna come back, say that she knows people were following her, and it's gonna be great.
Come up and
So I will go to a safer area and leave some marks and wait for Alwyn to show up.
Okay.
we're
But I'm just going to
Did I
leave it at
show
that
up?
because we're a bit over time for now. But
Damn it.
Fine.
yeah, we'll pick up after when you guys meet up.
All right. And while I'm waiting, I'll take the 10 minutes and cast for another familiar.
Fair.
There you
Wait,
go.
so the next session is the combat.
Part of it, probably. Probably
Oh.
not all of it.
Yeah, the undead
Damn
army
it,
is
I
here.
wanted to kill myself.
I want a long rest.
Oh,
Being
don't.
very, very up for murdering yourself.
She's the only one that hasn't really gotten the chance outside of Hivsam.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alwyn is okay, this is the level of like
We killed
Owen-
the boss a while ago, didn't we?
Alwyn Greysong, she doesn't want to die herself, but she doesn't mind witnessing herself to get killed. And then Chad like, hey, is there a way you guys can like prevent her from not coming back up when you're done crying?
Would have done that the first time.
Well,
Yeah.
Let me go talk to the cleric version of myself real quick.
Oh, so I've got some good news, guys. You've actually completed all 3 of those quests.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
good stuff.
So,
Morgak soloed one of them.
for the next session, you're going to have the following abilities. You're going to be given the reserve ability. So those reserves are going to be used for emergencies. If you guys are being overrun by the army, they can be used at any time, whether they're in front of the gate, behind the gate, whatever. So that's the first one. Second one, you have found out the person who is responsible for the sabotage. It doesn't look like they're going to be doing any more of that now, since you found them out. So now you have access to mobile infantry in combat, and any artillery weapons that you have available for use will have no chance of breaking. outside of normal combat parameters, like if they get shot at or something. And then
Alright.
the third one, because of the fact that you were able to calm down the refugees and to keep from rioting and breaking through Kagram Gate, it remains sealed, and there's no chance of a rear attack from eldritch creatures.
Oh. So we
Had
have a
you-
morale boost.
Yeah, so had you failed that, there would have been a 45% chance that Kagram would be attacked by eldritch creatures. And I would roll that at any time during combat. I would use percentile dice. So if it
More or
was
less
40,
it would be a certain.
yeah, if it was 45 or less, then the eldritch would have like barreled their way through, and then you would have been dealing with attacks on both sides.
Fun times.
Yeah. So there you go. I will make note of that you guys passed all 3, and you won't have to worry about that stuff happening when you start again next session.